Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Whims of the Creator. I'm J3 Buffin, and I'm here again with my co-host rather, Gadget
Hilariously derailing one-liner.
and Blank.
Yeah, I'm here too and very tired.
And we're gonna,
Not even gonna,
yeah,
not even gonna top my intro.
we're gonna be wrapping up our Hololive No Patience review with the blue cards, starting with the one person in this group that's now a graduate.
Hi, Sana. Bye, Sana.
This is Promise Fulfilled Tsukumo Sana. If she is in your memory at the beginning of your climax phase, you can give any of your Hololive characters 500 power till end of turn. And when she's put into your waiting room from the stage, if your memory has 2 or less cards, you can take a copy of this card in your waiting room and put it into your memory.
So here's the Earth, round. It's a small Earth.
No,
Sick
no, the
Earth.
Earth is not small.
So,
Sana's big.
Oh
be.
yeah,
That
that's
that's
right.
her
I
whole
always forget.
thing. Is she like created the universe or whatever?
She's the space half of space time, the speaker of space.
Here's the thing. Cards, fine. I think that a lot of these memory cards, especially the ones that are like if you have 2 or less memory, I think a lot of those got completely invalidated by the Jocko, right? In Guilty Gear. That card says end of attack, or when she becomes reversed, she can just go to your memory. And I think that timing is insane because it's offensively timed. You can never whiff it. With this, like if you get bombed, if you get like a zone shot by something, if I'm playing Scooby Doo, right, I'm gonna use my Mastermind and I'm gonna just kick this to your stock. If I'm playing Da Capo or Seven Deadly Sins, I have a card that can kick this to clock easily. The other thing is, I don't think that you lose any power by doing that because the Jocko is just a drop search and it has the memory effect and it's 1500.
She's 1 or less. The double timing is, in fact, an actual purchasing issue on her. I've messed around
Yeah,
with it for other
okay.
sets.
But still, like I think if I looked ahead a little bit, but I don't. I think you only need like one of the sauna in your memory for most of this conditions for the promise stuff, right?
That you do.
So like you could just make it one or less memory, and I think it'd be fine. It's in your memory, beginning of your climax phase, give a character 500. Yeah, that's pretty inconsequential, but it can add up. I feel like I've played a card. Oh, it's Elberum in Seven Deadly Sins. While he's in memory, you can give one of your kings plus 500, and that card's also very good and scales up really well. I'm not trying to like hate on this card. I like this card. I think it could be better. Would I play it in Hololive? I don't know.
I don't imagine this is a card you just put generically in decks now. The fact that she's waiting room timing, so you could like theoretically like sack it for something or like use it as cost for some other
Yeah,
effects.
I'd rather play Lammy.
Not
I
every
uh,
Hololive group can
I
have
don't.
Lemmy.
Man, I love Lammy. Man, I don't know if you could ever justify playing this card. 'Cause this card doesn't do anything when it goes to memory either. Like this card sucks. I don't like this card.
At least it's a payoff card. Like the other stupid stuff in Gen 5 is like, oh, I go to memory and then I'd get you a card. If I get reversed, I can go to memory next turn, but for this turn I'm on the board, Like this at least like does something continuously while it's sitting there. It's giving you compression and it's giving you power a little bit every turn. I like
Uh,
playing the Seven Deadly Sins memory deck. I really do. That deck is so cancer to play because every memory card costs you fucking stock to send itself there.
Yeah,
And like once you have the 4 Hellbrooms there, yeah, you're giving 2k to your characters per turn. That's pretty good.
but you paid for
Um,
stock.
right, yeah. This at least goes to your memory for free, and then it can just instantly give power somewhere. But like, you're right, 500 power is not really that impactful. It's just like if you're playing a memory deck, cool. This is at least a card that does something in your memory instead of just sitting there passively. But like, I think B mine is just probably the highest that it gets.
I mean,
And
I,
like
I don't know what
Hololive,
all the payoff cards are for this, but like at least one card I know has go to memory for free, and like yeah, it doesn't do anything in memory, but it does something out of memory. Like this card does not help you. It's a freaking like garnet in your deck.
Yeah,
This card
that's
doesn't do anything.
that's kind of the issue with the top effect in general, because like the Gyatso in Avatar is the other card that I know of that has like this kind of effect. You're mentioning the card from Seven Deadly Sins, which I just did not remember. But like that card sets the going price right as like, oh yeah, it's 1500 if you want to be able to do this. So like you don't have a lot
yeah.
of room on a level 0, which is why the Gatso is level 1. But like I kind of needed, at least in my head, for the flavor, for this to be a level
Zero.
to fit, but also having it leaving it at 2 or less. So like if you don't see it early game, you could just kind of like slam it in there before you go into like your finish your turn. like super easily. But I don't know. It's one of those things.
I don't know, like maybe I'm just a little spoiled,
It might be.
but because I play Summer Pockets so much, but like Summer Pockets has the same card as like the Polka Rize, where you just get a free memory.
Mm.
And then it also has this like level 0 that's pay 1, look at 3. If you have 2 or less memory, send it to memory. And the other effect on it is if you have 2 or more Miki on board, at beginning of Encore step, pay 3, ditch 1, burn 1, salvage 1. The card's 2k power. This card's 500, does nothing. Yes, it goes to memory for free, but like in that deck, I use a clean cut, so it essentially pays for itself to start because it attacked, and then you send it off to memory, and then you just have this burn effect online the entire game, and the card swung at 2k power. This card doesn't do anything. I want to downgrade the rank even more, but I just feel bad for Sana.
Don't worry.
Salvage Brainstorm is what, 1k power?
Savage Brainstorm. Well, any character Savage Brainstorm is 1k power, yeah. It was trait restricted to
Yeah.
500.
I mean, even the Unicorn in Azure Lane has pay 3, ditch 1, rest self to burn 1 and heal 1 if you have a full board. And that's costed at 1500
Yeah.
power. You could do any number of cooler things potentially. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
one's
don't
not
know.
from memory because they want this card in memory. But like that's a similar effect. Like I've played Unicorn a lot too, and it's just like that does something even on a turn you don't brainstorm if you want it.
I feel like we're talking about this a lot, but like,
Well, it's Sana's like only card.
In this set.
Like
So
she has one, and it's the drop search promo or whatever
so you see
in
this
English only. I think I
no,
don't know if
she's got
JP
a
got these.
so she's got a premium set card that's a level 3 that shows up. Also, this isn't the only Sonic card I've made. It's the only card in this set. But before I made this set, you see how this is a J3P3. I do actually have another set, which is technically incomplete because they keep graduating members. That's kind of an ongoing project.
Oof.
But I do have a Sana package in that one that has additional cards with her on it. So this isn't like her only JP custom card. This is the one Sana in this set of cards, you're right.
I mean, maybe in the context of your other custom stuff, this is like slightly better, but without having anything else to go with it, except for like another card we'll see in like 2 hours. Like, I don't know. It's fine.
So she could go a little bit more ham, even
What?
in a set like Hololive, where going a little bit more ham with it might be.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the freaking stuff Gen 5 has already. Gen 5 has the capacity to play to like 20 memory with all the cards they have now, and they wouldn't even consider this because it's just not good enough. Like it at least has that memory effect, but it's just
20.
The only deck
But,
I'd
you know,
consider
hey,
this for
it's-
is the Lammy level 1 combo, because it needs a reverse to do its thing. But even then, it's like, you have so many better cards for this.
we can stop yapping about this one.
Yep, we can move on from one card y'all don't like to another card y'all ain't gonna like.
What do you mean? This card's hilarious. Alright, it's a Gura. Same old
Same.
Desu Goar Gura on play.
Damn it.
It's a hollow EN. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. What a EN myth character from waiting room to bottom of clock. And then you can bond to the Gura finisher from your waiting room. I thought this was a ditch bond, so you actually the fucking character from waiting room to clock and it has to be a myth?
Yep.
What the fuck? Okay, and then act rest this. Choose one of your VTuber Hololive characters and it gains 1500 power. Okay, whatever. Look. At least it doesn't have a fucking soul trigger.
It does not. It could not afford it.
But like, why? Why this? Why specifically that? Alright, you know what? There is one implication, I guess. I guess if you really wanted to, you could put the Callie from Yellow from like 50 slides ago. You can put the Alarm Mori, the admin. You could put her from your waiting room to the bottom of your clock. Like if you let's say, I don't know, I'm living in fantasy world right now. Let's say you can play 4 Guras. You're at 3-2, you hard play 2 Guras, you heal down to 3-0, and then you play this, you put the Mori from your waiting room to your bottom of your clock. Since you're at 3-1, the bottom of your clock is now the top of your clock, and then you can get your 3rd copy of Gura. That's like maybe the one implication where this can do something cool, but we already established that fucking Mori is broken. Like, they would never fucking print that. in a trillion years. So like, I don't know why you would
True.
ever want to just clock yourself to get a Gura. Why wouldn't you just play another
I
helmet
mean, it's
Kanata?
like,
Because doesn't that like, yeah, just like
Mm,
play Kanata Gura, play the helmet, ditch bond to Kanata, then sack it to get your Gura from waiting room. I don't.
mm. I mean, that costs a
That's,
card.
or just
This is like
like,
-1 versus the -2 that the helmet is.
it's not like you're hard out for hand in Hololive.
Mm, it might be.
yeah, you're
I've
you're
seen
fucking
games.
Hololive, bro.
I've seen
Okay, hold
games.
on. Why would
I'm giving
I'm
this
playing Kanata
enough.
Gura, right? Why would I ever put a character from my waiting room to the bottom of my clock to get Gura when I can on play with Laplace? Like I could play over Laplace, pay one, put a character from waiting room to bottom of clock, get 2 characters. Like I could play the Kanata. I could play the helmet Kanata over my Laplace, right? Trigger Laplace, get 2 characters, and then immediately ditch them both for the Kanata to get Kanata the hand and the Gura and still have my admin in my clock. There is no reason to play this card. Like, cool, at least you can give one of your characters 1500. It doesn't even have a soul trigger. Like, you would. No, 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 never. Sorry, no. Thank you for putting Gura on a terrible card though. Like, she doesn't need any more good cards. Like, Jesus.
I think she needs better than F, but like would be fun. But man. Also, my
Dude,
fair.
what does this do over any other Hololive card? For one thing,
Nothing.
I'm not.
Apparently nothing.
It can rest self to pump power.
That's
That's
what I'm
all
saying.
it does.
Did you know there's a Nene card that I run in Lammy that is its only line of text is rest this give 2500.
2500. I do know
Do you
that card.
remember
Yeah.
Bro,
the
that
mod?
card's the SP. That card's the SP. You know what? Yeah, we're giving this the F.
That card is awesome because it allows Lammy to like reverse early plays in the mid game. It's very funny. Also, are we forgetting the Matsuri Brainstorm that has rest give one of your level 1 or higher cards 1500?
No.
Like, this card is fucking pointless.
This
Like,
card
what are we
Yeah.
gets
doing
you
with
level
this?
zero's power, in theory. But yeah, I see your point.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
I mean, it's interesting. It's at least a novel profile that Hololive doesn't already have. But like, why would I ever play this?
You
Apparently
know
you
what's
would.
really sad is I'm a marine biology nerd,
Oh,
but
hi,
I don't
Jennifer.
like the shark VTuber.
Truly a tragedy. What's your opinion on the non-shark VTuber Rin Penrose?
You mean the Blahas?
The
The Blahas go crazy.
Blahaj.
Her shorts are really funny. I haven't watched her outside of her shorts, but she's very funny.
She is very British.
Keep getting recommended Narissa's shorts now,
She has shorts.
which is fitting because
I mean,
we're about to talk about
Narissa,
her. The one that I saw today,
she
she
might
was
be
like,
too lewd for Hololive.
next slide, please.
Blank, you want to go ahead and read the card?
Sure. If there's a marker underneath this, it gets 2k. And when you play it, if it's a VTuber, Hololive, or the Advent event. Advent event. I don't know why I enjoyed saying that.
It's fun.
You put it underneath it as a marker, and then it also has Act Pay 1. Put this standing card to memory, and choose one of the Narissa finisher in your waiting room to add it to hand.
Yep.
I hate this card. I'll tell you why. You have these like, all right, cool. I get a marker, right? Cool. Markers are cool. I like marker cards because they sit big and they give you information, right? Point of contention. Why would I ever want to put my 3500 marker card to memory? The point of a 3500 marker card is
Because
it's either a chaser that can plus your field, or it's a card like the Connie in Attack on Titan, right? That like has an incidental secondary effect, like kick opposing character to stock. I printed a card in my Scooby Doo set. I don't know if it's the same card or if it's in a different set, but like there are some of these profiles that gain 2k power, and when the battle opponent becomes reversed, you can salvage character discard one, like the Black Panther and Marvel, right? Like those are good incidental effects to put on these like marker cards. Because like if they whiff the effect, okay, whatever, at least you got information. But like, why would I ever do that and then just like have it go away? You're telling me the payoff for it living cross turn is it gets to go away and get my finisher? Why wouldn't I just want it to live another turn at level 0?
okay,
The
you think
stand.
you're
Yeah,
thinking with this card the wrong way.
I agree. This is not an
Sorry.
early game call. The act is for late game, where this is not doing anything for you at front.
I don't
So
think you
so
guys would
think
play
about
with
it
these
this way,
cards.
Gadget. No, I play with these cards all the time. Markers are cool. 3500 is big enough to like tie most things anyway, so if your opponent really wants to run this over, they have to sack a card themselves. So like being a 3500 alone is like enough sometimes. So even though this doesn't have like a run effect or a stock kick effect or whatever, this other line of text makes it like a double use case later in the game. Say you're playing this Narissa finisher deck, which is the only deck I think you actually play this in,
Mm.
because like they have a 3500 chaser in the Noel.
Yeah, they also have
Already.
Kiara.
You're probably
Yeah.
right. I'm just
So
saying that's going to affect my rating. But yeah, continue.
you get to look at the top card of your deck no matter what. Event, character, boom. You put it underneath there, bada bing, bada boom. If you want this finisher, you can go get it. Like just on demand, play, see a marker, sure, that's one card of deck speed, let's go, baby. And then you just get a finisher, like for free.
I guess.
And if you play this early, like 3500 is living or tying.
So counterpoint to that. If this card did something like on play top 2 rearrange, or and then the second effect, which is like pay once, put the standing card in memory, I would think it's way more playable than it is right now. I mean, you could argue that the marker thing is still makes it playable, but like it's not as synergistic as it could be. Like it could be on play surveil, and I would still rather play it. Like, I get what you're saying, that it potentially adds early game utility for a card that you're forcing yourself to play as a memory condition. I get that. But I've played two different decks, Attack on Titan, 8 Pants with the Zeke Mill Runner, and Seven Deadly Sins with the Guild Thunder, right? The Guild Thunder Chaser. And you literally just brought up or not
Yep.
Lammy, Noel as well, which is another card in Hololive that they have already, right? These cards that can gain markers and sit cross turn, particularly the evasive ones, right? The ones that are like chasers or like mill runners, right? Turn one, you slam that card down, you get the marker. Their opponent's going to do what they're going to do. You're going to dodge combat somehow. Either you'll chase to the weak lane, or you'll mill run to the weak lane. Regardless of what happens, you can decide to either keep that card in the front row to be a beat stick, or if your opponent pushes you to level 1 anyway, you can instead move that card to the backstage, do your level 1 turn, and then if you end up with an open lane at any point, you can just chase that character to the front row. You can mill run it to the front row and protect yourself, so you don't get direct attack swung. There will be games, I've had this happen both playing Seven Deadly Sins and playing Attack on Titan. You can have that runner in the backstage for like 2 or 3 turns, just sitting there like an idiot. And then sometimes randomly, when your opponent's going to try to kill you, now you can run it up and block a lane or make them run into you, just so you can take that one less damage. This is just trading itself away right away, and yeah, it's freeing up a slot. It's getting your finisher to hand. I get it, but like if you're playing Noel in this slot, that's a card that's going to live 1 turn and then going to sit in your backstage until it's ready to chase to a lane that and protect yourself for 1 less damage, right? I think I would rather have that over the trade-off of having my finisher in hand. And like maybe the Narissa finisher is going to be good enough, and I'll have to come back and re-rate this. But like I don't think this card's that good. It's cool that it has this like synergistic effect, but I don't think I would ever play this card in Hololive. Like does that make sense?
I mean,
I don't know.
In Hololive, yeah,
you
sure.
definitely only play it in the Narissa deck, like for sure. But like this card in a vacuum is like really good, because you know that
Like
play
this,
you're talking about where it's like, oh, it's gonna sit in the back row and it's gonna run forward. That's like way more niche than this pay one stand to memory grab my end game for free,
Yeah,
like
for real.
just
Like,
because it's a card.
it's
I
cute
Like
guess,
that
this,
it
but
does
this
like
that, but
-1 soul. Oh no, I didn't get direct attack. Oh, my opponent triggered anyway, so my running didn't matter.
and now I turn on the run reverse effect.
maybe I'm just like
And it's like,
addicted to field pluses, but like
Maybe.
if this card is a rare, which or double rare, which it would be in a real set, right?
Oh god, you're right.
I'm not happy to pull this as my rare. I'm looking at this like, oh cool, it's a Futaba. I like Futabas. Futabas gain markers. And I'm looking at this third effect and I'm like, why did they put this on here? This could have been a 4K Futaba, but instead it's not a runner, it's not a chaser. It's not a card that's exciting.
I like this
It's
way
just a
better
card
than
that
a
wants my
4K
finisher.
Futaba.
You know what I mean? Like, and like, what if I don't care about my finisher? If this was a 4K Futaba, this would be way more playable than this, in my opinion.
In general purpose, I think you're exactly right.
I don't care about my finisher.
That is a very
Like, you
interesting
never play this
opinion
over
to
the
have.
Narelle.
Like again, I'm the kind of nerd that cares about like rarities in my sets too. Like this is a premium booster technically, so the rarity doesn't matter. But like, again, if I'm pulling this card as a rare, I'm not happy. I would rather see this at uncommon. But if you're playing this at uncommon, you have to probably make it I don't know, less good. Because it's a Futaba. Futabas you usually see printed at rare or higher.
No,
Yeah, the
no,
only
they're
one that...
not. They're very low rarity now.
Corrections in post. J3 Puffin returns. Blank said the CSM Futaba is a common, but the one that I found is actually a double rare. Kiara is a common, but does nothing else, and in the same set we have the Noelle, who is a higher rarity card. I would print this Narissa at rare more than likely with their Narissa finisher at double rare, but that's because I value the abilities on this card more than Gadget does. I think there's a danger when looking at familiar profiles that occurs frequently talking about customs, where you assume you understand how that profile interacts with the ones around it in every situation. Obviously, that's the best we can do. We're only human, and these guys are blind reading these cards, but this argument about this card is a prime example of this principle to me. This set review's been a lot already, and we've got another 3-ish hours to go. I could go on for another hour or so about some of the shit these guys said about these cards or VTubers or whatever, but that's not why you're here. So let's get back to the review.
I guess what I'll say about this card is I don't think it's like completely terrible. I just don't like it, and because I don't like it, I don't want it printed. But I may have to come back and rewrite it after we see the finisher. That's just that's where I'm
I
at
think
with
this
it right
profile's sick. I definitely want this to get printed for in a set where I like that's the finisher I want to run. Like I in spoiler season they reveal a finisher and I'm like, please print this card so I can have like just an extra plussing 0. Because the other thing about this is you can play this and Noelle.
Yeah.
Like you can have a main plussing 0 and you just play this as like an extra plussing 0 Futaba card that also just has this utility effect that says, get my fucking finisher for free.
Yeah. Advent was gonna end up with a Futaba regardless of what I did with my life because I printed fucking accessory. Obviously, they need a Futaba as like an early game enabler for that, and as
Oh,
we'll
Lord.
get to in a little bit. But there's some
Alright,
fun
hold
shit
on.
this gets. But yeah, let's talk
Now I
about the
have to bump
finisher.
that up to it. No, hold on.
You
I
have
have
to
to
bump
bump
this
this
up?
card to a straight C because I forgot about the freaking accessories.
All right, cool.
If you can just,
Oh yeah,
if
this
you can
card
just
can
rip an
become
accessory off
hexproof.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be a 35 hexproof. It
can
can be a
become hexproof.
4K with the standing
It could be a
memory
4K.
effect. It
Yep.
could I think it'd get twin drive.
Oh no, did you print that in this set? You psycho.
We'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it can. Let's talk about the Narissa first, and I think the card after that is our twin drive. So this is release Narissa Ravencroft. Because it's not like that kind of release. It's not that kind. It's because, she was like sealed up because they took your horn. But then in her climax, she has it back.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
It's that phantom horn thing.
Yes, sure.
It's funny that it
Keep
doubles.
keep going with that.
So, during this card's battle,
Double
your opponent cannot play backup from their hand. When this card attacks, if her pants is in your climax area, which, obviously she doesn't wear pants, but we do what we have to do to put good triggers on good cards.
That's crazy.
If there's a marker
That's insane.
and Demon of Sound Narissa Ravencroft is in your memory, so the 0. Looking at the 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, choose up the 2 of them from among them, put them back on top in 8 order, send the rest to the waiting room, put up the 1 card from the top of your clock into your stock. And when your opponent becomes reversed, pay 2, pitch a card to put the top card of your opponent's deck into their clock.
How did you get this climax effect? Like, how much does that itself cost?
This is actually an
Because
Oshinoko
this is
combo.
like,
so
yeah, it's the Akane.
that's where I got it.
Does this card come out early?
So this is my one complaint with this card. I didn't make it an early play for it.
That's probably for the best.
Okay.
Because you printed Akane, but on like steroids.
Oh, cool. In that case,
Yeah,
I
I
did my
think this
job.
card becomes way better if you can really play it.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I'm looking up exactly what Akane's text is because I'm like, hold on. Give me a minute.
Alright, I'll give you a minute. I'm just spooked that it's just on attack, put a card from your clock to your stock. Like,
I know, it's crazy, right?
it's a free clock to stock and an Amoka for 2.
Yeah.
Anya's a straight heal and Mocha for 3, but she's pay 1, ditch 1. This is like,
for free.
Okay, you have the memory
She
condition.
also don't have there's no level 3 effect on Akane.
Yeah.
And I don't know this for sure, but I think that no backups thing is a level 3 effect. This card is like overstated.
The Soul in Guilty Gear is on play heal, MX combo, and then it has this third effect, and that card's 9/5, right?
No, that's 10k.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because the heal has a 2 more condition on it, so it cuts it to 500.
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Don't worry. I remember that card very well. I've used it for reference quite a bit.
Ushiro needs to stop printing broken cards, please. God damn it.
Well, I mean, also stop. English originals with their original effects
It's
are
not even original.
sus.
Like, that's not even original.
What do you mean? This is top card of deck to. This top card of deck to clock thing is definitely not a thing they've printed outside of Climax,
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware.
This is on Soul. That's the only
Like
card
this,
I'm
the
aware
bottom
of.
ability. There's
Yeah.
clock kick for this cock. This is straight up uncancelable damage.
That is
Correct. I'm gonna ask the question we probably all should be asking, which is this a card that you would want to play Hololive for? Is this better than what Hololive is already doing? I think 3 of this is better than Double Gura. I don't know if it's better than Kanatamari, but it might be.
So this is weird, right? Like, I don't actually think this put to stock effect, like put the top card of your clock to stock effect, actually means anything on this card. Because it's at level 3, and you can't really play it outside of standby.
No.
It cheapens the
And
reverse
Mocha,
effect at least.
Listen, I don't know if you've played Guilty Gear, but there's a guy at our locals who plays 8 door, and let me tell you, on attack, pay 1, ditch 1, burn 4, and then on reverse, pay 2, ditch 1, top of deck to clock, is like really freaking annoying. It's really impactful, but you're never going to get 2 lanes of it. This reads, on attack, Mocha for 2, then pay 1, ditch 1, top of deck to clock. Because you're partially funding the cost of its own skill just by attacking. That means you can effectively field 3 of this for 9 stock, and you're getting 3 uncancelable damage.
Isn't
let's
it
say you're
less
playing,
than 3?
Let's say you're
Wait,
playing Stand My
if you have
with
3 clock,
playing,
can you just do this for 6?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do this with 6 stock if you have 3 clock.
1, 2, 3, 4,
yes,
because
yes,
you attack also.
Yeah.
You attack also. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just have 2 of the Miko brainstorm in your backstage, or like you have a key somewhere, these are going to get reverses. Yeah.
You're gonna need extra hand to get the markers underneath it, because the only way to get markers underneath it are cards with inherent style abilities, or the event. So you're burning at least some extra hand cost on it.
What do you mean markers underneath of it?
Because you have to have a marker underneath this card to use the combo.
You can only do the combo if there's a marker underneath it.
Yeah, that's part of the Akane
Which
cost.
probably makes it.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, and then the Akane has like a change thing going on or whatever.
Yeah, the Akane I think can,
and it's
like up for it.
Oh yeah. So the Akane's on play effect, the card that changes into it, is on play, discard 1, search your deck for 2 characters.
Yeah, they put some crazy shit on cards, right?
And then yeah, and you know what the funniest part is? The Akane stuff's still not good. Spoilers, Oshi-no-Ko gets referenced a lot in this set review, but I don't think he printed the good finisher from Oshi-no-Ko. I think he printed this, which is has this extra line of text on it for no fucking reason.
That's what I'm saying. Like, here's what I'm trying to say.
And then he printed
the
other thing.
He didn't print the good finisher. Cool, whatever. Like, he printed the finisher with this extra line of text on it that, if it was real, would make the card so synergistic that it would be too good. I mean, we already complain about Marika so much, right? This isn't quite on the level of Marika, but, it's just, you're so close to getting it. Okay, again, Soul, right? Soul is a card that it costs 3 stock and 2 hand to field 1 of it. This is funding the cost for its own on-reverse effect. You just have to have an extra card in hand. I don't care that you need the marker under this. Soul needs 2 or more characters to do the on-attack burn for. You're going to have to commit cards from hand to fill your board to do the Soul combo. You're going to have to commit cards in hand to do the accessory effect with this. Either way, it's fine. Even 2 lanes of this is probably enough to kill somebody.
Probably.
And also, you're Hololive. You can put a Kali in your 3rd lane. You can put, a Noelle in your 3rd lane. You could play, I keep bringing it up, but you could play, is it Kanade?
The card that gives us Musashi.
Yeah, the kids.
Kanade gives 2 characters.
I give both of them Musashi.
Oh my god.
When the Mocha whiffs, cool, now your opponent's taking 3. So,
Okay, Just for clarity, I just want to clarify this. This is JB's like mad scientist lab of a set, by the way. Like,
No, I
Mm.
know.
I don't know if that's been established. I've forgotten. We're recording a different day, a different week than we recorded all the other parts of this. Spoilers. Like, this is JB's like mad scientist lab of like, I'm gonna print bullshit and watch people mauled over my bullshit.
Which was
Cause
not
like,
ever what this was intended to be. I just went back when I made this set. I had even less of an understanding than I do now of power balance. I still don't think I'm terribly good when it comes to power balance. I just now like understand how to weaponize budget for like weird shit instead of broken
Yeah.
shit. Like I kind
And
of
this
can
is
see a difference. And
this
yeah,
is the
this
sad part about card design is the effects are so synergistic. Bushiroad would never fucking print this card.
yeah.
They just never would. Like, are you kidding?
okay, okay,
No. Like part of custom set design
hold
is,
on,
is
yeah.
is understanding like, yes, technically the card is balanced, but is it number one? Is it broken? Number one, like, does it make your deck too good? Number two, is it unfun to play against? Like those are the sort of things that like testing works out, and a lot of these cards I've never even seen you test in real life. So like,
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't have a printer.
And look,
This.
when you printed that freaking
Okay.
Escanor shit in Arknights, that was like Escanor with extra steps, but you got to ping one 5 times instead of 4. I was like, I mean, technically the card's fair, but like, I ain't fucking playing against that shit. Good luck getting that shit to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should or would the real company ever. I mean, I've been wrong before. I mean, we talked about the Rio finisher in Scooby Doo. I've been wrong before. They would never print Marion on a bar. 2 years later, oh look, they did, right? But like, I'm probably
Like
gonna be eating
So
my own words. But yeah,
here's the other thing. I'm gonna see if I can talk Gadget down from an S. And I'm gonna do that by going over all the other bullshit he printed in this set. In standby, you have the Zeta, which is nuts. You have Kiara on shot with the I'm gonna keep restanding until you eat my damage, and also, by the way,
yeah.
every time I summon, I ping one. You've got the Musashi. You have the
The
infinite like
Fuamoko
stand
stuff, by the
and
way.
burn at level 2. The
Yeah,
Fuamoko extra soul garbage. Like, in this set specifically, I actually think this is one of the more tame cards because it doesn't early play,
like
which
I
is
get that.
insane, right?
I mean, yeah, nothing we've
I
seen.
think I'm only giving this the A plus and not the S.
Well, how
Maybe. I
about?
mean, like
I think
in
no. I
comparison to like the Iris combo, because the Iris is like we've seen a lot of broken stuff. Obviously, I agree with you. The Zeta is probably way too fucking like Zeta is crazy, but to me, the Iris is the most egregious card that we've ever seen. The card that can do the top 3, rearrange. It does the end of attack. You ping one 5 times effectively, and and it can early play. Like that card is just so freaking crazy. And yeah, this card probably isn't at that level of crazy because you're right, it can't early play. But just like the fact that it can clutch games so easy, like you said, like Mocha for 2 and just seal games, and then on top of it, it pays for its own clock cost, which is the on reverse top of deck to clock. Like,
I think that's the thing that like puts it over the edge for me. Like it just turns into a discard 1
Mhm.
if you have clock to from your combo.
right?
It's
Like
discard
I
1, deal
already
1
hate.
uncancelable.
Yeah, I already hate Soul, but at least Soul is balanced by the fact that all of its abilities cost stock. And like, true, Guilty Gear has Giovanna to get you the free stock, but at least Soul doesn't pay for its own cost. You still have to figure out how you're getting 3 of that on board. This is just like, oh, did I get 6 stock over the course of the game playing Hololive? Yes. All right, cool. Then I win. You know, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't
Also, like
deserve that.
you can stop Soul's reverses, and you can't stop this card's reverses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can with
But you also
events.
can't tap counter against this. You can't money counter this, which matters because it's an
You
on
can
reverse.
money counter this.
Yeah, you can hit events.
So you actually can.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
However, money counter does not work on that bottom effect because it is not damage.
You can actually money counter this with
So you
certain
can't
versions.
money counter
If
this
you
card. You
if you have the
you can money
character
counter
version,
the attack.
like what is it, Is it Ju Lee in Avatar? That bounce counter. That card is sick, and that card you can't play against this either.
Oh no, that card's an event, bro.
No, it's not. Is it?
It's like a
Oh, it's not an
It's a
event.
2/4
4
event. You have
event.
to
Yeah.
discard a climax, bounce a character.
All right. So
Yeah, they didn't give green actual good cards. They just gave it a meme card. There's a side note that I wanted to cover. In between recording sessions, I actually did find out that Hololive does have this look at 3 rearrange bounce effect already. It is on
what?
a Xi'an 3/2. Yeah, it's on a
Oh,
Xi'an 3/2, and it also has the alarm of that you can free
yeah.
fresh your deck.
Yeah, that one, but it's main phase free French, which is weird. But yeah, they do actually have the top 3 rearrange thing. I remembered my note. Bushi doesn't have to balance their shit because they're a big company and they can just print whatever they want, and people are gonna have to play it if they want to play the game. Because if they print something broken enough, then people are just gonna bring it to tournaments. If you want to play customs with people, you have to work like double hard to make something that people are willing to play against, because customs is always a choice, whereas like Tuesday night locals isn't in the same way. So like, if you print a set with like S cards and A plus cards, like a bunch of those in it, people are gonna look at you like, no, I don't want to fucking play against your deck because it's too broken. That's the real kind of minus to like breaking a set like this and like putting like, oh yeah, so I've made all these cool cards for like, Hololive people who don't have cards yet. It's like, yeah, and no one's gonna play against this shit because it's broke as hell. And it's in Hololive, which is already kind of broke as hell. And also, playing fucking mixed customs where you're able to use real cards on top of it, dear God help you if you can find someone who will let you actually play that, because that is a whole can of worms by itself. So yeah, these would never get tested because they would never be played.
This coming from the guy who's literally making a Goblin Slayer custom set right now.
Yeah! I'm literally doing this again for Goblin Slayer and for Mob Psycho. Like, just because like I want to see some cards and I'm kind of curious what damage I can do, but like
God, poor Mob. I want Mob set too so bad.
That's why I'm doing it. But yeah, like these cards are never going to be real at like the double level, which is why I think like in my head part of the building of the set was building self-contained without thinking of a bunch of extra shit Hololive has. But that also just doesn't work on principle because you're printing Hololive trade cards for things that aren't Hololive, which is why I'm kind of like stepping back from actually making more Hololive cards. I'm poking at it for like fun, but like I'm not doing this for like any sort of serious like purpose. It's just like I want cards with Justice on them so I can play against like the bots in the sim, and that'll be sufficient, But like for the actual other stuff, I do have other ways to print Hololive cards. I'm printing Hololive cards. But that's a note for another time. Small niche community of custom card creators has to work twice as hard as Bushi ever has to make balanced shit. If they ever print this, that's not a sign that Bushi thinks it's balanced. It's a sign that they're out of their fucking gourds. Which we already kind of know they are.
Well, it's like that's true, but they also have like a ban list to fix it. There's no custom card ban list because nobody's like overseeing it all.
Well,
so
that's the thing, right?
As an initial card creator, you have to like be more careful.
And then also on top of it, willing to ban shit when you're playing custom cards with your friends. So that you don't, like, if you printed something, you're like, look, I know this card, I want this card exists, that's fine. I'm not going to play it against you, I'll play it against someone else maybe. But yeah, like, you have that double-edged sword of like, oh yeah, Bushiroad has a ban list. Bushiroad also doesn't manage their ban list with the efficiency that a lot of people who play locals would like them to. Which is the opposite.
Oh yeah, the Bushi C in particular does not know how to make a ban list. They've either got it completely wrong or only banned half of what they needed to. Like the most recent one, the actual cards they banned were good. The problem is they didn't take everything off of the power level and like reset it. Like not the most recent JP ban list, but the one before that where they hit Aki for the first time. They like nuked the format down and started releasing sets that weren't like quite as strong. Like I was looking at Freerin and I was like, are we going like back in time? And I was kind of excited about it because all this like turbo shit, like Weiss is a fragile game because it's 28 damage and you can only play certain cards at certain levels. So once you slam a 3, if you're doing something that can do like more damage than a full level of like what your opponent can do, like you skip their level 3 turn basically, like you can semi-consistently kill them from low to mid 2. That's when it starts getting to where Weiss is too fragile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Speaking Speaking of fragile, are we ready for the next card?
Shiori's Psyche. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
This is science! Or science! Shiori novella. Alright, so when your other character is placed on stage from hand, if it does not have a marker, you can put this card as a marker. It is a A1 rest self salvage brainstorm for Hololive traded characters. And then while it's a marker, it has accessory. When this card attacks, look at up to 2 cards from top of your deck, choose one from among them, put it top of your deck, put the rest in the waiting. I think this is one of the better accessory cards we've seen because it's your brainstorm. You can just sit in the backstage.
This card's insane.
And then whenever you need to, you can give one of your characters choose a trigger.
This card's insane, dude.
As somebody who's played into Uma Musume a lot, their Inheritance Brainstorm is like the unsung hero of that entire deck. First off, it's hexproof. Like, it's unfuckwithable, basically. And because you can brainstorm and then marker it, like, you play this with the Narissa, right? You've essentially turned your Akane Mocha with the Heal to Stock into true Mocha, which is look at top 2 of your opponents, look at top 2 of yours,
Yeah.
with the Heal to Stock effect and this other thing. And like because you need a marker, quote unquote, and you need to expend hand, you get these stronger effects. Because Uma's entire gimmick was that like they can't get markers regularly. They can only get them through these means of like their markers specifically is a discard 1 cost.
Yeah.
Now this set is Hololive, so you have different ways of getting this. But this one in particular is like technically a discard 1 cost, just because of like how the inheritance thing works. But because it was always on their brainstorm, it never equated to an actual discard 1 because you could always get the card back. Their level 1 combo, for example, if it has a marker underneath it, instead of looking at 5 and taking 1, you get to look at 5 and take 2. Like, you get some insane effects for your marker actually costing you a hand. But this can refund your hand and then become the marker. And now, on top of just being the marker where you get your crazy inheritance effects, like in Uma, this one straight up gives you a bonus effect on top of that, which is like nuts.
Yeah, that was a trade-off in design space where it's like, for this set, the cards that are getting markers out of it, like, they aren't... You have, like, the finisher, and you have, like... I guess the Fuemoko kind of goes crazy, but it sets up its own shit, so it doesn't really have to worry about these markers the same way.
Oh, lordy.
For, like, this other stuff, that is kind of a trade-off, is like, you know, instead of the cards that themselves getting the print-off for marker, it's just the cards that marker themselves get to do shit. And a couple of the ones that don't.
Oh my god.
I think Gadget looked ahead.
I didn't look ahead, I looked back. That's the problem.
Oh, you remembered?
This card's nuts.
Alright, so
this card is insane.
So there is this... Fuemoko has its own bullshit already. But, incidentally, if you just happen to... Like, the one thing that card didn't have going for it is like, oh, you can't stand by it. Because if you stand by it, then it's just a 3k with 1 soul, right? But if you're playing this Brainstorm... Now you can stand by the Fuemoko with impunity and then just change this under a marker, and now it's an 11k cross turn with choose your trigger.
Incorrect. It says from stage from hand. That doesn't have a marker.
The Shiori does.
You
yeah, it's not an act effect. It's an auto.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Like you can still hard play it. Like I don't know if the Fuemokos get blinked, there's a way that you can recur their marker.
Gotcha. You're like right. You can play them without doing the change shit. If you want to pay the stock for it, yeah.
And like, yeah, the Fuemoko is still on play from hand, ditch character, and then marker the things. Like you could, like that's still a thing. But like, yeah, if they get blinked, you can always use this to refund the marker, and now they're 11Ks again. This Iris finisher, or not Iris, Ozki, burns for X, where X is the number of markers under this card. So this just incidentally another marker that can go to the Ozki. I don't think the Ozki burn itself is that broken. I think I rated this card like an A.
Yeah, the timing on it, right? Like, I think that you have to put the Shiori under it first before you do other shit, I think. Because of the timing.
No. Because this card is... You could just hard play the Ozki from hand and just get it that way. Like you're not gonna
That's
be
what
able
we're
to
saying.
fuse into
Yeah.
this like whatever, but
That's
you can
that's
still get the marker.
yeah, that's what we mean.
It's an
Because
extra marker you can get.
like the ordering on it, right? The Shiori and also the Bijou, this is the same thing, right? It has to not have markers underneath it otherwise. So it's like you have to fire one of them first, whichever one you're gonna marker, and then you can do the other stuff. But yeah, so that is
Okay,
yeah,
but like my point is
it does that.
you can play one Oz key, suck up all your units, and then play another Oz key, suck up your brainstorm, and now you've got two Oz keys that can burn two or more.
You can
Like
also just put this under anything. That's actually one complaint that I kind of have
Yeah,
going back on
this
this.
is the
Like,
nuts part. This card, so you know how in English they just banned Luna and Mio?
yeah.
Like this would be your replacement for Mio. You just have choose your trigger on anything you want,
Oh yeah.
including your Luna, by the way.
Oh, you're
Um,
right. Oh
you
shit.
put this on the Narissa, so you are less likely to trigger Soul when you want to, and you could put this on Gura and check your top two cards to see if they have Soul triggers.
you could play this in any
And
version of
like
standby, and then give all your cards incidentally extra chances to check standby.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this would be the replacement for Mio and Standby for English.
I mean, most
Like
standby decks are either
the
not playing Brainstorm
Kiara.
or Level Zero, or they're playing Muna, right? This card is 100% better than Muna and standby. The only thing Muna's getting for you is knowing what the top card of your deck is prior to attack phase. This is a choose your trigger for one of your three lanes. Like, that's wild. Standby would love to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's an S.
I think it might
And I'll
be.
tell you
No,
why.
I've played against enough Uma to know it's an S.
But there is a
Like without
there
this
is
bottom
a-
line of text on it, it doesn't matter.
There is a John Brainstorm in Ruby that just came out, which is it's a Cosmo Brainstorm, and once per turn, start your attack phase, you can choose one of your characters and give it choose your trigger. That card's really good, but I don't think it's broken.
Do you think that
Right.
Hololive can have John Brainstorm though?
Oh no, absolutely not. But I
That-
don't think it's an S tier card.
I think that's how we're rating these, right? Like the earlier when Blank rated
Yeah.
it, including previous cards from the
context.
set, I think that was like maybe the step too far. But like in the context of Hololive,
In Uma Musume, the card is like really good, but I wouldn't give it an S, even though it's hexproof and this card isn't, or whatever. In this set, I give it an S because we've seen the crazy finishers already. Dude, imagine stacking this on Zeta on turn you're going for combo.
You know how we rated this Interrogation Zeta, which was like a Rest 2 Brainstorm for a search and has other effects on it? We
Yeah.
said that was an S because it was a Rest 2 Brainstorm, and in Hololive that would be probably insane. So yeah, I think you're right. I think we have to give this an S for consistency.
especially
I want to give this an A+, but I think on principle, yeah, this is an S, and it's a no.
Yeah, you can like if you're not brainstorming
Also,
with this, you can
severe
roast it
lack
from
of-
other shit.
There's a severe lack of like goth eye makeup on this Shiori art. Like this art is cute, but this doesn't even look like Shiori.
Oh, don't worry, we fixed that. We fixed that in the next Shiori card, I think. I think we make up for it.
Okay, all right, good.
So back when I was doing the art for these, they were still pretty fresh, and they still had an insane amount of art. Like when I was doing this, I was in shock. I can make these cards as early as I was. There's definitely a couple of cases where it's like, if I went back and I made Advent cards again, or if I started working on even like Justice like again from the last time that I did, which was like when they were like a week or less old. Like dear God, the amount of art that I'd have to pull from to make some crazy ass
All right,
shit.
Blank, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think this Shiori is better than the Zeta?
I think their uses are different because we talked about the Zeta in Kanata that's like changing their stuff out, right? And like it has a bunch of like, oh, you can just tap two and do all this other shit. This card serves a much different purpose, but I think the fact that it can choose your trigger to anything, or you just have like
right.
random card of marker compression if you're over hand size. Like you brainstorm, you hit more than you expect. You pick up another copy of this card just to have down, and then you play it on a card. You marker
it. Yeah.
In the context of like Kanata Marine or Kanata Gura or 8th Standby, the Zeta is insane and breaks the deck wide open. But in the context of, I don't know, every 1K1 Hololive deck, this other Brainstorm is probably way more broken.
I feel like you could
you're getting information.
You could play both in Kanagura, couldn't you? Like a couple of copies of each? Because you could rest the Shiori on a turn, so that you could rest the Shiori with the Zeta, so if you have both of them in the back row for different purposes. so that you can then marker the Shiori under something that you're about to attack with anyway. Like,
Holy moly.
now you can't marker the Shiori
Dude, you're playing
underneath
three.
a Kana changer. That's true. You can't do that, but
Don't they come from hand?
oh
They
my
come
God,
from
they
hand,
do.
right?
They do. You're right. I would probably save it for Gura, but you can't also put it
This
on
is-
Kamada.
Well, what if you're just playing like Marine though?
Oh, if you're playing it,
Right? Like,
oh my
it's-
God, you can put this under Chloe's.
Yeah,
oh
you
my
just-
God, you put this under Chloe's. It's so
Oh yeah,
cute.
you could check your. You'd look at two,
Two.
and then make sure you have a level 1 on top, so you
Yeah.
could go to stock.
Because like people are playing like Suisse in that deck, right? Like you could have that and this on like different copies, or put like you can do
Dude,
whatever you
this
want.
is so. This is so dumb. Dude, why did you print this? Like the first 2 lines of text were already good in Uma Musume, and now you're just like, okay, but what if the marker also gave you an extra
Well-
ability to break it?
Because that's the thing, right? That's what the difference between this and Uma Musume. Uma Musume puts the marker effects on the other cards, which means that they actually get like a lot more efficiency out of it technically. Because if they don't have a way to marker stuff themselves and they come across their markers through inheritance, like they get the more effort out of it. Whereas this, I think this card is actually under spec potentially. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure how to value, like, if I value the top effect as separate. Because, like, if inheritance is 500 and that accessory effect, like, the effect itself is 1k, and how I price these in other places is that I price the accessory effect.
Power effects.
No. I priced them equal to what they were worth. So if the effect was worth more than 500, which top 2 choose your trigger is actually a 1k effect.
Then it's over spec.
Yeah, okay. So yeah.
You're giving other character 500. You're giving other character choose trigger.
And the marker
This is not
effect
under
itself.
spec. It's at least it's either neutral or it's.
Oh,
over
sorry.
spec.
That's
It's
what I
not-
meant. Over spec is what I meant, not under spec. Said the
Yeah.
wrong word. But yeah. It's so cute. It's so funny. Hololive can't have this, and I probably need to bring it down to 1k if I use this in another set. Alright. Let's talk about another goth girl. I guess she's emo technically, which is different.
Emome.
Imume.
Goth fauna and Emome.
Mumimo.
No, this was a phase. I can send you art later. Like they went
Oh.
through
Oh,
goth
I
phase.
know. I want to.
Dude, fauna. God, goth fauna. Goth fauna is insane. Emo Mume was also pretty strong.
She's too strong, actually.
I can't. She's too impressionable for this world. She's already topped the regional for Pete's sake.
Mume?
It's like,
Oh God.
Yeah.
yeah, it was fucking our friend Devin who will never shut the fuck up about it.
JP, we were there for that. Don't you remember? Bro, we were literally there. He roomed with us.
Yeah.
He was playing Mume Rushia.
I remember him taking the tournament. I remember him doing better than we did.
Yeah, they got top 4, remember?
Yeah, they did.
He got top 4 at the smallest trios event in America.
My only trios event.
This has like the Guilty Gear rest effect, basically. If your memory has 1 or less cards and you have another character, you choose a Hollow Promise specifically and send it to memory. That's the simple effect. That's the act effect at the bottom. This other effect is, if you are level 2 or higher, this gets the following act ability. Pay 1, put this card from your stage and 1 Hollow Ian Promise from your hand to memory. Choose Living History, Mume, in your waiting room. Put it on the stage position this card was on. Ultimately, it's going to depend on what this other card does.
Okay, you go ahead.
All right,
Let's go to
So-
level 3.
So a reminder, this card early plays by paying 1, ditching the event, and sacking the 1/0 Mume from stage. So when this card is placed on stage from hand or by the auto effect of this nameless Mume, you can ditch 1 to heal the stock, so that's a very good effect. Effectively plays it for free if you're early playing it, because you can just ditch another card and get that stock back. And then on attack, you can pay 2 to Icy Tail 3, and if you hit a climax, you burn them for 1. It's the Noel Icy Tail from the Hololive Set 1 Noel. I don't want to read the event, but
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Jay. Did you know about the Mume finisher before you printed these?
Not even slightly. I had no idea that summer was coming. So I had no idea what cards were in it. And then they revealed that Mume got a finisher, and I was like, oh. Well, I guess I didn't have to
Yeah,
work
this
as hard.
card-
huh?
This card is an insane mid-game card for Mume Waifu, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, Mume Waifu.
Is it good?
The deck that's
I don't
not even
know.
possible.
Yeah. Even
It
after
is
this.
now, isn't it?
I
No,
don't.
even after this, it doesn't have enough
I
cards.
guess you could just play an empty
No, good
pants,
God, no.
but
You're still short.
Even then, she doesn't have enough cards, bro.
Yeah, she just needs more characters.
What on earth is this top effect from Mume?
Oh, the 3? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This is It's stock
This is
healer.
not heal to stock.
It's stock healer, but the card that you're putting in your stock is the one from your hand.
Yeah, this card like
Which is just like weird. I know, but I don't
does
know.
this card suck? This is like heal to stock, but also you get fucked on by anti-heal still.
Oh, you're right. That's funny.
It this is like
That's
this is like
hilarious,
coming to
actually.
play do nothing. I don't know. It's like
Wait.
all the same card economy of a heal to stock, but I wish it just like healed normally if I was just gonna have a normal heal. Especially
Yeah.
says you have to play down this 1/0.
I mean,
You have
I
to
guess you
pay
can't.
one, send it to memory, and another card from your hand to memory. And you have to you put a card in hand to stock to get your heal for this. Like it's a lot
Yeah,
of
I
hands
guess you
just to
can't
play
whiff
one of
it.
this.
Cannot
Like
with it.
if you ditch up front, you always get the hand to stock, even if you have no clock. Like if this was a heal to stock and you had no clock,
You want to get
you
stock.
couldn't get
anyway,
the
yeah.
stock back. This way, you always get the stock from. You can always hand to stock and heal, even if you have no clock to heal. But yeah, why isn't this just a heal to hand or heal to stock?
Because I wanted to see what happened.
What the fuck is going on with this?
I thought it'd be fun to have a card like that.
There's not even any flavor to it, really, because Mume's whole shtick is looking at the top of your own deck or your opponent's deck so far. Like,
Oh, really?
it doesn't even really synergize with that. Why isn't this
I didn't know
like
she had a
on
theme.
play heal and then put the top card of your deck into your stock? You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't realize Mume actually had a functional theme with her cards. I looked at her cards and I was just like, yeah, she has cards.
well, yeah,
It's
because
like
the
her
level one is
level
level
one
one is
looks at the top card of her deck.
So like the 2 that I had to go off of, right, was the Mume level 1 combo, which is good, and the set 1 premium card, which is memory blank. So I couldn't print that effect on a Mume, which was obviously sad because like that's the most Mume effect that you could have. So I mean, I'm glad they did that, but like, you know, they kind of did my job for
For
me.
gore.
And what's the I don't even remember
for
what
gore.
the other effect on that card is. Hold on. What
I don't know.
what do you
The
think?
level
Let's
3 Mume
see.
is messing with your opponent's deck, so
Like, yeah, there's not like a
Yeah,
because
it's
there's
stack 3.
when your other Hololive character attacks, she gets 2k until end of turn. So she's a level 1 memory blank that can also swing at 8k, which is pretty Mume, actually. Good job, Bushi. Yeah, I didn't have a theme to run off of, so like I just kind of made cards, and Mume is definitely the prime example of that, where it's just like I wanted to make cards and see what happened. The change effect from the level 1 that makes this happen is the one. It's 1 out of ReZero, the green set. I'm pretty sure it's the change effect that puts the level 3 Amelia on it. It's like on a puck, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that card. So I put that, and I was like,
That card's cool.
like, and because I was setting up with the idea of, well, Asana is going to be in your memory because in the same way that, like Gen 5 has a memory gimmick, like, they would have at least a Asana gimmick. Mume being, like, all about, like, simultaneously being forgetful, but also being, like, history. So, like, the idea of, all right, well, now that's just lodged in your memory forever. The historian, the promise the group made, and also, Asana, who sends herself, which then sets up for, like, the a card we'll talk about near the very end. That was about as close to a theme. Like, I created that theme whole cloth because I didn't see one for Promise to have. If Mume has a theme of like top checking, then absolutely, I could go
She
back and mess
doesn't
with it.
really.
But yeah, she doesn't really in my head. So we made this instead.
I mean, it's not really a theme, but at least it's a consistent thing amongst the cards.
Out of 3 cards, she has one that doesn't interact with that at all, one that looks at your deck, and then like one that stacks cards on her opponent's deck, which is like not the same thing.
Yeah, she's not Mocha. She's she's the reverse.
She could have been.
Yeah.
She could have been.
She easily
But
could've.
no, they were like burn 5. That's funnier. And I'm like, I agree with you.
Oh yeah.
It's also interesting that you have like this change effect be a little bit different than the ReZero one, because the ReZero one was like you needed two specific cards on stage and you send them both to memory, and this is like one from stage and the event from
And
hand.
yeah, because you can't really play an event to stage and have it stick there. So it's like, well, I want to use the event. So obviously, it's just got to be in your hand to do it. Because otherwise, it's like, how the fuck do you do anything with it? Like, you couldn't send it from waiting room to memory. That'd be ridiculous.
I mean, that probably works out.
Yeah, because like send a name from a stage is, I don't think it's quite the same as discard, but it feels like it's close
Well, this is,
enough. Oh,
I don't know. The only thing is like both of the ReZero cards that need to go to memory are costed, and you have to play both of them.
that's true. This is definitely
So like,
cheaper.
it's probably fine. I don't think I'd ever play this Mume stuff other than cute owl cute. Hololive has a
Because
million stock healers, and the Sui say that ignores color is in blue.
And the
Yeah.
Noel also
I
exists.
mean, I
in
guess if you're
Hololive.
trying to play the promise stuff, I guess it's like fine. Yeah, give it like a C. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna give them both a C plus. Maybe C. I mean, I don't know. I do like that they both synergize with
Give
the
this
Mume waifu
a
cards, though.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give this a straight yes. I think this is a card that can help get you memory. They can put any card in your memory, which can be helpful. This one I'll give like maybe a C plus. I think the Noel is more
I was
playable.
about to say,
Yeah.
it's also just because like this card, this effect is repeated from the Noel.
Yeah.
So I gave the 1/0 a yes, and then I gave this level 3 a no because
Yeah.
this one's like
You need something.
repetitive.
So like I was met. This card ended up like this because I went through some shit on this card. I don't remember what the original text even on it was, but it was way messier. So I kind of just picked an effect, and then now in hindsight, it's like, oh wait, this is literally just copy paste from a card in this set. You're putting this in JB. That doesn't track. But yeah.
I mean, this isn't the first time they've copy pasted effects in Hololive.
Yeah, I just want to be better than them, you know, because I'm a
Oh
custom
yeah. There's a whole bunch of repeated effects on promos and stuff, but like that, I don't know if that one if that counts exactly.
Hard to say.
Because like there's reprinting a card, which is like essentially what they did with the Subaru, with of Aqua, because it's the same gen and everything. So that's why they did that.
Yeah.
But then there's like repeated effects, like that fucking all those drop search promos being completely irrelevant because the Miko's at 3,500 all the time.
Of Sana's 2 cards, that's one of them. God. Alright. Let's talk about the event real fast. I'll go ahead and read the event. Blank, you should also maybe recognize this event as well. 3-0 event, if you don't have a Hollow Promise character, you can't play it from hand. Perform each of the following effects once each. You may draw a card, and you can pitch a climax to climax swap.
Am I supposed to recognize this card?
It's from a set you've been talking about, so I figured you'd recognize it. This is a straight up a Uma Musume event.
Oh, that's
No.
really sad. This isn't the event they play.
No,
Do you know that the event they play is?
I have no idea.
It's a 2/0 goes to memory. If you have 2 or more, and you can purge them both and do something. If you have 3 or more, purge them both and do something. And if you have 4 or more, purge them both and do something. Let me go look this up, because
Yeah.
what this thought me of is like, wow, this is like the garbage version of the D-side event. The D-side event from Green is perform one of the following effects. Search your deck for a climax, give all your characters a soul for the turn, or salvage.
My God.
And then this is like, you have to pay a cost to salvage. And then your other thing is draw a card. Yes, you get to do both, but like, jeez. That is sad.
What's the condition?
That
on
event
If you
made
don't
me
have
sad.
climax swap, you can draw into the climax.
Yeah, but why wouldn't I just want the D-side event that says search for a climax?
I don't know. Does the D-side event cost stock, or does it just have conditions on it to make it free?
No, it's a 3/0.
What the fuck?
It's a 3/0. I guess because it's
insane.
only
That's
perform
crazy.
one.
Man, we
Let me go find Uma.
in the so when people see this, it's going to be after the My Dress Up Darling review hits the channel, right? And we talked a lot about D-side
Oh,
cards
Lord.
in that, and God, that D-side is just a mess of like crazy ass cards. So like, I'm not surprised that there's better in
D-side's
D-side.
so cool.
Yeah, it's one of those sets where it's like, it's so awesome, Also, it has like 57 broken cards in the mix. And the only reason you don't play some of them is because you're playing the other even more broken stuff. Which is it kind of like a Hololive
Okay.
vein, except D-side only has the one set.
Okay, so Uma. This Uma 2-0. If your memory has 2 or less cards, send this to memory. If you only have 1, you can purge it and you salvage a character. If you place this and another copy, you deal 2 damage to your opponent.
What?
And if you, yeah, like they play this for main phase burn. If you purge all 3, you deal 3 damage to your opponent, and then one of your characters gets 3k. So the line is like you get 3 in memory if you can, because this is just like bonus because Uma's finishers are like kind of strong enough without it.
Yeah.
So you do the purge 2 effect. You burn. Now your memory has 2 or less cards again. You play the final copy from hand.
So you get 2 burn
Uh,
2s.
and then you get to do you get 2 burn 2s out of that turn.
That's
And then your finisher is
insane.
Mocha into burn 1.
That's insane.
Yeah, when you were like, "Oh, this is an Uma event," I'm like,
Oh.
"Really? They have a way better one."
Yeah, Hololive ain't getting that
Like
shit.
a way better one.
I tell you what, can you imagine Hololive with main phase burn? Like full main phase burn like that? They
What do
kind
you
of
mean?
get
They
it.
just got
They
it.
got main phase burn for 1 for like
I like this event because it draws you a card, and that can help you do more things with Mume. Because like now you can ditch 1 copy to early play the Mume, and if you have another one, you get to draw a card, and that lets you refund the cost for doing the on play.
Okay, so the problem is that an event is inherently a discard one, so this card just replaces itself, and
Yeah.
that's it.
It goes neutral, gets you a free climax swap, but you have to play it at level 3. It's a level 3 event. So it's like,
Oh,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say, like
Yeah, I
frickin'
guess you're right.
what is it called? Upstart Goblin, which is just draw a card, is like a 1-0. I don't think this card's very good actually, compared to some of the other 3-0s they've printed. Like,
oh yeah.
I think Review has like a 3-1 event that does some nutty shit too.
Don't remind me about Train of the Reborn. I know that card
I don't know.
too well.
The only level 3 events I know about are the bonus chance from Beaufry and the Gen 4 event in Hololive, so I don't know. I just don't play level 3 events.
A lot of people don't. It's a very rare thing to see.
Drago Buster, one of
Yeah.
my favorites
Dragon
actually.
Buster is level 3, you're right.
I don't
then-
play Slime.
And
I
then you
hate
have the
slime.
broken version of Drago Buster. That's a 3-0 and does the same effect, but only looks at 3 cards. But then you shuffle climaxes back in your opponent's deck with the stupid card. And that's how Love Life
Oh,
Superstar got banned.
Maybe.
I would play it because it has Fauna on it, but that's about it. So this card has like some interesting synergy with the Iris, where you have the look at 3 rearrange bounce. You basically turn this into like a top check 3 event, quote unquote. The funny thing is like if you see a non-soul trigger, you move this to the top, you play the 3-0 event, you draw the soul trigger, and then you can do Iris's effect.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know.
that's cute.
To be fair, the Hollow Promise is all in like blue and green, so they're all on pants and bar. So the Climax Ditch effect has some semblance of use more than it would otherwise, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd play a copy because it has Fauna's face on it, and that's about it.
understandable. Alright. We leave Promise for a good long while. To talk about more Shiori cards. Oh god, the Shiori card.
Oh my god, this Climax art's strong. I like
yeah.
that.
It's good.
This is another
the
Shiori
fuck?
novella. During your turn, all your characters in your backstage get assists 500.
It's a marker
Okay.
with cards with markers onto them.
Interesting. Oh, I see. All your characters with markers get 500. Okay, whatever. That's whatever. On attack, if you have this book in your climax area, you have 2 or more other characters, choose up to 1 of the event or a Hololive character in your waiting room, put it face up underneath this card as a marker, choose one of your characters in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Okay.
What? This card's just. Bro, were you just like. I can't tell if you were running out of ideas or like you were just cooking too late one night. Like, what is going on with this card?
The latter is when
Well, hold
I do
on.
most of my stuff. So yeah, imagine this, right? Imagine you have 3 of these, so all of your characters
It's
get
just
3
a
instances of the
fucking-
assist, and then one of you
It's like-
guys just gets 3k in the middle.
In the middle, it's pretty funny.
Oh, that's not good.
I mean, you know what the worst part about it is?
Mhm.
I still don't think it's good.
No, it's not. That's. I had this. Like, I've played around with this in Sim. I had this with more power, like that, giving it more power, because it's like I had the same line of thought. Like, yeah, this isn't terribly good, but more power is fucking broken. So I toned it back down, and now it's kind of like definitely mid. But I just think it's very funny.
Like
Oh
it's
boy.
like what? Your side lanes swing at 6-5 with combo.
Yeah,
All right, so here's how this works.
because you also can so you choose the marker from waiting room, so you can grab like anything you want.
Let's go over the list. If you choose to marker the event, then all 3 of this gain. Each one, when this card's front attacked, you can choose this card and up to one of its markers and return those cards to your hand. So you just get the Advent event and the combo back to your hand.
Yep.
For ditch 1. So that's effectively like Aaron combo from AOT, right? You're gonna get the character back to hand, and you're gonna get your event. And the event lets you give a character 1k power, and it's sort of like recursion effect, right? If you marker the Climax combo Bijou, you can ditch a card to return the Bijou marker to your hand and give the character 1,000 power. So that effectively makes it a 6/5 cross turn on your book combo. And if you choose to get the Fuomoko as a marker, okay, it's only 6k cross turn, but it also has hexproof.
So the issue with those is that this
It's
assist
not
effect
cross.
is during your turn.
Wait, what?
During your turn, all of your characters in your
first line of-
backstage get the following effect. This isn't cross
Oh,
turn
so
power.
that effect is a
Thing?
cross turn.
And also, if you
Oh.
bounce the Bibu, you lose the marker, so you're not getting power anymore unless you happen to like grab a Shiori under this.
No,
Which,
yeah,
like-
you're right. So basically,
yeah.
you just want the Fuomoko or the event.
Mm.
Yeah, that's way less good then. Like I thought that you had a line going here where I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold on.
I think
No, this is
the idea in my head was
no.
like this is like
Yeah, no.
like kind of like I don't know like Obero variation, but not like a great one.
I mean, this reads
I think-
close to the Aaron from Attack on Titan, but the thing is that Aaron got you mobility gear, which is a card that so if you double Aaron and they front attack your Aarons, they pop back to hand. If you triple Aaron, then they all go back to your hand. But if you double, you can use the mobility gear you salvage to save your third character by moving it to a different position on stage. And then all of your events are drop searches. This event isn't a counter. It just gives your characters power and like saves them next turn. I mean, at the very least, it's an on-attack free salvage, but it's off of a book. Like, why would you just not play the Mume level 1?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, the
there's literally
Mume
no
is
reason
like
to.
a filter on top of this. This
And look, if it was,
that's so unfortunate. Shiori's cool
if it
too.
gave the assist cross turn, I think this would be somewhat playable because it would at least have a niche. But the fact that it only gives the assist on turn,
If it
like,
if it gave the assist cross turn, I'm pretty sure this sits at like 35 or 3k base. What do I have that top effect priced at?
I don't know, but it's
I didn't make notes. Great. Okay.
only way this lives is if you decide
what,
to
1,000?
marker.
Yeah, I feel like it's
events.
1,000. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, the
Yeah,
point of this
it's-
is that this is like the card to enable all of your accessory stuff. But the only card that's really enabled by this is the event because this is never going to live cross turn.
Yeah.
So cool, you can use the event to ditch one, bounce it back, but all your other cool accessory cards aren't doing anything to enable. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like, if it was like, so imagine if this was like gave the assist cross turn, right? It's a 4K base. That means in 3 lanes it's gonna be 55. Plus it might sit at like 6K cross turn with hexproof. That's like just big enough to maybe live and incentivize you to play some of these other accessory cards. But the fact that it's not That's so weak. Like, what are you even clearing with this? You're not even clearing 7K. Maybe 8K with the climax max? I don't know.
Yeah, 8K and center.
I think this needs a rework. I don't think the card's bad, but first of all, you never play this, and what you're trying to do with it to enable the advent stuff, it needs to be budgeted differently. Like, if this was a 2K and gave, like, the 500 power or, like, a 1K assist cross turn, like, make it completely, like, zero sum, min max the shit out of this, like, maybe it would be playable, but, like,
Yeah, I think just putting a
It's
training
so
edition on the
weird.
backward assist probably gets what I want out of it. All of your VTuber Hollow cards in backstage get the assist effect. Take off the during return. It now sits at like 4,500, and then that cross turn back, so like it swings at like 7K with climax down, and then the center lane still gets to 8K. I think.
yeah.
No, it gets to like 45 plus 3K plus. No, that would actually, the middle lane would actually swing at 8.5. Okay. That's an easy fix.
I do like that this can also just get you free compression.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's kind of a feather that it has, but I don't
Yeah,
know. I
I
want to
don't
see it
think
printed
3
for more of
markers
the
worth
advent
of
support.
compression. Yeah, Advent outside of like Narissa being an overstated card is like hasn't been popping for me.
Nah, man, Fuamoko is broken. Remember?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay,
Fumoco is broken.
Fuumoko's got all the crack, and then they gave all the chaff to everybody else.
I feel like that might be the actual strategy they go with when they start printing these cards, and I'm a little bit worried about that. That we're just gonna
I mean,
see, like,
Fuumoko's awesome,
yeah,
but
they deserve great cards, but like you gotta you know that at some level there's someone in there who's gonna be like, all right, so we have
God.
them as the good people in the gen, and then the rest of them are gonna be whatever. Kind of like you know, they definitely play some favoritism when it comes to
Could you
characters.
imagine?
yeah, don't worry. There's some unfavoritism too. I know exactly who we're all thinking of right now because I will force you to think of how terrible they made Fauna's cards.
I'll just play the GIF again because I have that GIF every time.
All.
Good.
You know what else you can do with this card is if you're. I mean, we all agree the Fuamoko shit was absolutely crazy, but if, for instance, it was real, and you had double Fuamoko in your front stage, now they're like 11K cross turn, right?
Oh my god, you play one of this.
Fuck playing one. You could slam 2 of this in your backstage, and have the Fuamoko door combo, and then now all your Fuamokos are plus 1K. Now
Oh,
a
right.
12K cross turn,
Right,
13K with climax.
oh
Like
shit.
you don't even play the book combo. You just have this as a supporter for all your other marker shenanigans.
I
Like
forget.
I still think that makes the card bad, but like if you're playing the advent stuff, it's something else you can do.
Oh yeah, you could actually have a use for having all 4 of this down at once, which is that all of your lanes get 2K or 4K if it's the middle guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he could actually swing at 9K in this current form. I forgot to put center stage on it. That's one of the things that I forgot to do with this card. Okay. So
And
that
you
would
know what's
also
really funny is that you play Chloe, right? And you play the event that searches her climax, and she still swings bigger than this card with that meme strategy.
Oh yeah, because that gives
Because
you
the
like
event
3K.
searches climax and gives 2K.
2K.
So I don't even think 9K is like broken in the middle lane either.
God. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that there's like a power line that is definitely dangerous to cross on a level 1. Like the Dow 2 reverse combo is like gets to like 8K or 8.5 on the wind, and I feel like that's about like yeah, it's about the line. So like not and the fact that you have to spend a
Okay.
stock to make it swing at 9K is like yeah, that's a fair trade. I feel like that's fine. That would be like swing at 9 for like just having cards on board.
Okay. Let me tell you about a set that it's called Love Live Nijigasaki.
Oh god.
So they have a 1-0 combo that says if you have a card in memory, this gets 2,500 power per other copy of it on board in your center stage. So cross turn, they sit 8,500.
Uh-huh.
Climax combo on a door.
So I got a
On
90.
climax play,
Oh my god.
You reveal top card of your deck if it's a character, add it to hand, and for the turn gain pay 1 twin drive.
Holy shit.
So yeah, it also combos with a level 3 card as well that says if you trigger a card with a soul icon burn 3, it also has pay 1 salvage a climax. That's all on the same climax, by the way.
Really? What the fuck, Bushy?
Yeah. Do you know what the dumbest part about that card is? It has a soul trigger. So it would actually be bigger if it didn't have the soul trigger.
What? Is it like a base 3,500 card or something?
Yes.
Okay.
It is base 3,500.
But it gets that fucking...
But because it gets 2/5 for every other copy, and Niji has a Ram that goes to memory, so you play 4 of that, so you always have triple, and it goes to memory on reverse.
And you still have 3 copies of the Ram helmet effect in your deck, just because. Oh god. Bush
It's just
really loves
yeah,
titles.
this is
Holy shit!
dude. Love Live Niji is an insane set, and Ai's awesome, so she's ballin'.
My god.
But Kanata's best girl, so it's fine.
Oh god. Alright.
Like, I could blow your mind with Niji effects, but like this card sitting big for free is like technically a problem, but you could find a way to put some absurd condition on this and like make it sit really big cross turn.
I don't know, because now that you're talking about that, like, that's get a card in memory and have 3 copies of this. This is get markers, like, oh, they'll tinker with this later. That's, God.
I will shatter your mind when we're not trying to get through all of blue tonight.
Yeah, don't worry. I think we're not at the midway point. All right, never mind. This is also a combo.
When a climax is placed in your climax area, choose a color. This card gets that color and 1,500 power. That's pretty sick. I like that because she's an artist. When this card attacks, if Euphoria?
Euphoria, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Like Euphoria.
Euphoria is in your climax area, 2 or more. Choose one of the following effects and perform it. Look at top X cards of your deck, choose up to 1 VTuber Hololive, the trait thing. Among them, reveal to your opponent, put it in your hand, put the rest in a waiting room. X is equal to the total number of colors your characters on stage have plus 1.
Yeah, so
or choose
you
one level
put-
2 or higher card added to hand.
you can basically choose like green or yellow or red, and this card gains that color, but it's still blue. So the X is always going to be equal to 2 or more.
Yep.
Basically.
You can have 3 lands that do check 5, as long as they each pick a different color.
Yeah.
Or if you just have extra colored guys on your field, yeah. That's the idea with it.
I don't even think you need the +1, to be honest. I think you just need it to be straight, like 4. Because if you triple this, then you have it. You have all 4 colors. And like it's not like Hololive's a hard set to play multicolor. So.
I mean,
Even if
they print check 5s now. You're allowed to do this.
Oh, it's look at top X cards. Oh, I thought it was a cigarettes. Never mind.
Nope.
Yeah. This is fine then. This is fine.
Wait, what? What? Cigarette?
That's at Mills 5. This is turbo crack.
How the?
No, I thought it was mill 2 and then salvage X, where X was the number of colors you had on stage. This is just look at X.
That's fascinating. Like the idea of you just mill 2 for no reason. Like it doesn't determine anything.
I read the card and I was like, oh, okay, now I get what this is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be reading these cards anymore because I'm already like tired.
Fair.
But like, not only this card, but the stupid Mume early play that you showed us. Like, I read that card wrong too because these cards are just weird for weirdness' sake. They're not normal cards.
I don't even think that card's. I think this could get printed actually. I think this card rules.
Sure. But it's just weird. It's like. Look at X cards from top of deck. Does like my brain went, oh yeah, this is a cigarettes off of pants. Cool. Hololive doesn't have this. This is cool. Yeah. And then you just incidentally get to sometimes salvage level 2 or higher. Hold on. This is just like the Kai in Guilty Gear, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's a play on the Kai because I found the color effect in a Bang Dream card, like something similar to it. So I was like, I want to put these two together, put it on Yofi. And make your color set because it's cool.
Okay, hold on. I'm about to shatter your brain.
Oh god, how so?
How much do you know about puzzles and dragons?
Oh fuck me, very little except that it's broken.
So there's my friend Hagen plays multiple decks from it, They have a brainstorm that says you can only brainstorm if you have all 4 colors on field, but it looks at 5 and is a salvage. But where is it? I need to figure out where this door combo is.
In red. Oh,
Here it is.
Okay.
It is in red. They do have a gold bar combo that's also red. So, take that for what you will.
I will.
All right. So here's this guy's combo. When this card attacks, if you have 3 or more other characters during this turn, it gets 2k. Sure. Yeah, whatever. Climax combo, beginning of encore step, perform one of the following effects if the door is in your climax area. If the card is facing this, is reversed. Look at 3, add a card to hand, add a card to stock, and put the rest in a waiting room, or salvage a level 2. So you can only do that first one if you have 4 or more colors, but they have
Huh.
like a back row card that's like gains yellow or something, and it's a green card itself.
Oh my god, Guitar Hero. Oh my god. No one tell
So,
Desmond about Puzzles and Dragons.
So and then the card is like rest if you have 4 or more other characters, give 2k, beginning of climax phase, give 15. Like, it's just a power pump card for this.
But it's colors.
But like, in theory, you could make actually this check X effect stronger.
That's wild. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't.
Because the Puzzles and Dragon ones needs a reverse, like, this is probably fine for an uninteractive combo.
Oh yeah.
Alright,
But I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be biased. I think the card's cool as well, but I don't like that this is a Maguro for 5 with an incidental secondary effect. Because Hololive already has Kiara, which is a ditch 1 Maguro for 2. And then it also already has Ayame, which is just a straight Maguro. And I like Ayame. There's not a lot of decks that can play her, but I like Ayame.
I mean, it's not a straight
also like
Magro, it only
Kiara.
gets level 1 or higher cards.
What, the Ayame?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't pick up any more of Hololive's broken ass zeros.
All the more reason to, like, I don't know.
Play this card instead.
No, that's why I don't want this card. I mean, like, it's like, don't get me wrong, card's good. I would also probably give it a B plus. Like, I'm honestly, I might give it an A minus. Honestly, I think it's really good. But I don't want them to print this because they've already printed mill 4 combos twice. Like, they don't need this.
Okay, what if I told you?
Doesn't need this.
What if I told you Quince has a Maguro for 7?
I would tell you that I don't care because Quince can go die in a hole.
Yeah, it's not about what other sets have. It's about that he doesn't want the Ayame to be made obsolete.
Or the Kiara.
Brother, let me tell you something real quick.
The Kiara is technically a +1, sure, but this has this other effect that makes it modular. That means that this card potentially is better in certain situations.
You have to, like, understand that cards are just going to be better than other cards. I am a Fauna player. I don't have a fucking card that's worth running, but I do it anyway. Like, yes, this card is better and cooler than any of those other things that you've mentioned. But one of them's in the TD, the other is in this ambassador set that,
which
like,
is also a TD, basically.
is a glorified TD, and, like, yes, this is technically a real set disguised as a premium boost, or a regular set disguised as a premium booster, and like that means all the rarities are fucked. But, like, you act like there aren't cards that are just, like, better than other cards.
In Hololive.
Like, yeah,
like...
I was about to say, the freaking common Noel is better than the Fauna combo that I got as a rare. It doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to be shit that's... Would you run any of these level 1 combos over, like Chloe? It's like, you might run this one, because this has deck speed to it, but Chloe's just an insane level 1 combo, and, like, half of all the other Hololive decks don't run a level 1 combo. Like, 8 standby technically does, but that's just because it's a standby.
Yeah, that's cheating.
And it's like, also, they could just run Choco instead.
Yep.
It'd just be Ozki Choco. Because they don't actually care. They just want a standby combo that pluses, quote unquote. All the Kanata decks don't run a level 1 combo. Mume's good. Mume has, like, an extra hand filter on this, and you're just like, oh, well, this other thing's obsolete because it's on attack salvage or whatever. And it's like, well, Mume's on, like, Oh my god. Actually, the biggest egregious one is the Matsuri level 1 combo and the Flare level 1 combo from the TD. They have
Yeah.
the same climax combo effect, but Flares gets Twin Drive on hers for no reason. Like Flares gets a pay 1 Twin Drive. It's like, yes, you're saying these cards will become irrelevant. That is how meta works. Like I am so used to playing like quote unquote irrelevant cards because like I like playing characters I like half the time more than I like playing like what is actually the best deck. So if you like Ayame, you just play Ayame anyway. Like fuck this card, whatever. Or if like, oh yeah, I like Kiara, I'm gonna play the Kiara level 1 from the Ambassador set. You are more than welcome to do that, but I do not like those ditch 1 add 2 when they're only for 4 cards. I'm sus on playing the Izuna from Blue Archive, and that one looks at 5.
Yeah.
I'm just picking it
All
up because
right,
it's
well,
Izuna on it. But do you
I
get what
don't
I'm
know.
saying? It's like,
I
yes, of
do,
course cards
but
become
like,
irrelevant.
I think also if you're making a custom, like it's one thing I guess if you're printing the cards for real, but this is a custom set. You could get more creative than just,
I mean, he
I don't
could
know.
make this the Puzzles and Dragons combo.
And
He could
no,
just do that.
that's too much. That's way too much. Again, these other dragging other sets broken shit into Hololive doesn't make any better of
What do
a
you mean?
custom set.
Nobody plays. Nobody
Yes.
plays that level 1
Yeah,
combo.
nobody plays it. That doesn't mean it's alright to just pull. And also, like, the whole reason that I built it this way was because I wanted to, like, I wanted to see, just have a way to play like the Kai, because I've never gonna play Guilty Gear. So, you know, and then, like, make it thematic.
Same, brother.
So, like, yeah, like, God. I do see the point of not wanting, like, because it's a custom set, like, you can go out of your way to like not make other cards obsolete. But like if you're making custom support for a pre-existing set that isn't already ass, like that's something to be a little more mindful of. When it's either a set that's a pile of cards like Hololive is, or is a set that desperately needs help like Mob is, you know, you kind of throw that concern out of the window. But like, I get the idea, right? I understand the concern. I don't think that it's necessarily a thing to worry about in this case, because I think, like, comparing to this, the Ayame's got to have something else going on that this doesn't.
I think it sits bigger cross turn, but like that's about it. I think it
Really?
sits at 6.
Oh, okay. And this, like, yeah, okay, that's fair.
It's like this card's cool. I like the flavor on it.
And it's a Yofi card that's
Artist.
playable. It's very good to have. All right, more Indonesia cards. This is my read. This is
Oh my god.
nuts. I underuse you. You had nuts. I have your nuts. We are not the same. All of your characters in front of this card get the trait Non-Stop Nuts. When your climax is placed in your climax area, choose one of your other Non-Stop Nuts characters. That character gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. And then this auto effect, I don't actually know if it works. I'm not gonna lie. Put this card into your winning room. When your other Non-Stop Nuts character is put into your winning room from the stage, and this card is in your backstage, and we pay the cost. If you do, return that character to its previous position as rest. I don't know if that works with its own effect. There's another way to get Non-Stop Nuts trait. Like, there's another card that has it. Like, not that it gives it, it just has it. But, I'm not entirely sure because it's no longer in front if it's in your waiting room. But like,
yeah, it's not on stage anymore, so it actually loses trait before the like you can't activate the ability because it doesn't. I don't think it works.
Yeah, so I think I would make this when your other Hollow ID or Non-Stop Nuts, just because. But that actually becomes redundant. Yeah, this card needs a little bit more finagling. It's funny that it does that. Maybe you could give all cards in your waiting room Non-Stop Nuts. Maybe that's the fix. Because giving traits is... Yeah, okay, that's how I fix it. But yeah.
Bro, what is this card? It's like, dude...
It's funny. That's all I have for it, is that it's funny.
Non-stop November. Let's go. I'm giving it the D.
Nope.
Don't give Risa the D, please.
Why not?
What do you mean? That's all she talks about. Non-stop nutting.
She wants it. That's That's top of the list.
I will give you this, JP. You've managed to continue the long line of Bushiroad giving Risu endless useless cards.
Yeah.
I mean, her combo's still better than Fauna, so.
I don't know.
Well,
That's not much. That's not hard to do though, Blank.
Okay,
That's a finisher.
I was about to.
That's different. That's
Yeah,
different
yeah.
tiers.
It doesn't matter. You can actually do something. On reverse clock kick? Oh my god, you're crazy.
It is a thing that it does. All right. I feel like
At level 2, even.
True. All right. Short, sweet, to the point. We can go on to the next card.
This is Jailbird, Narissa Ravencroft. She's a 1/1. One soul with a soul trigger. Ability activates up to 1 time per turn. When you play an event, you can top 2 rearrange. Auto ditch 1 card from hand. When your character's trigger check reveals a climax, if you have 2 or more other advent characters, you can do the ditch 1. If you do, choose a card in your clock, return it to hand, and put top of deck to clock. Okay. And then this heal. So this is what? This is a backstage card that gives all of your advent characters ditch 1, clock filter whenever you trigger a climax, and then has pay 2, rest, self heal. Am I reading that correctly?
JB.
It's not. It's not
Yeah,
with all your
yeah.
advent characters. It's just if you have 2 or more on board. Other more. So
Okay.
you have 3 total on board, including her.
When I first read this, I thought you were a psychopath. I thought you gave this the Aki heal effect.
That's where I thought you were going with it.
And then you added the rest 2 heal on the bottom. I was like, what the fuck?
God, that'd be hilarious. I feel like it'd be better if you replaced the auto and the act with the Aki effect, but then it'd need to be a level 2. There's no way in hell I'm putting down a level 1.
What do you mean? It already exists on a 1/1.
You're right. I don't want you to be right, but I just remembered that you are right, and that bothers me.
Shiny Color's got a promo.
Yeah.
Also, there's a
promo.
level assist. At one point, it was a decent amount of money, but because my shop gets JP promo packs, everybody that played Shiny Colors pulled theirs, and nobody had to buy any.
Nice.
God bless Bushiroad printing good profiles as promos.
Oh, yeah.
I really need to stop doing that.
They stopped printing box toppers, I think, partially because the Puzzles and Dragons box topper at one point was $100 a piece.
Yeah. They half learned a lesson, but they clearly did not learn it enough yet.
This Narissa top effect could just be... You could just make this the Fern Brainstorm, right? Like, you could just make it activate 3 times per turn.
God. I mean, I guess that could affect the power budgeting, but yeah, technically you could.
Mm-hmm. You could. Fern wasn't out when
I
I
don't
made this
know.
card.
I don't think I care about this card.
I
Like,
don't
it doesn't.
either.
It's not
Right,
a level assist either.
I don't either.
And its climax filter is advent locked.
Yeah, you need to have this card plus 2 other advent cards. I guess you could play this in standby, but Hololive already has a 1/1 that's a pay 2 rest self heal.
Yeah, no. This card just doesn't. This card
This
just
card's
doesn't.
like marginally. This card's marginally better than that in standby because at least if you can get the advent stuff going, there are cards in standby that you'd want to make choose your trigger, but like I don't know how many advent cards that you can actually squeeze in there.
It's just what you play the Fuamoko stuff with standby and call it a day.
All right, well, yeah, cool, we solved it. Great job, Blank.
Yeah.
Jesus
I
Christ.
still think this card is worse than Pekora being a
This card
level assist or whatever.
This card was designed by 3 manatees disguised as me sitting at my MSE copy. Like, this card is just not. This card's just
Who's
not.
to say you're not still 3 manatees in a trench coat, JB?
I mean, I don't like fish. So, like...
I've seen you in real life, bro. You look like a manatee.
Better take that back.
I don't like eating fish. Sorry, correction.
Have you
been
like your manatees in a trench coat this whole time?
Just because I'm shaped like 2 manatees in a trench coat doesn't mean that there's not a secret third one.
I took you to regionals. You gotta tell me these things. We could have gotten in so much trouble.
For bringing a Weiss playing pile of manatees to tournament?
Yes.
Is
What
that
do you mean?
illegal?
That's all three of us, right?
Wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
like-
Hold on. You know what's funny
We're all
about
just
that is he was
manatees
playing
in a
a
trench
standby
coat?
Hololive.
Yeah, I was.
It
I
was
was
just-
playing it standby.
It's proof you can teach 3 manatees in a trench coat can play standby Hololive.
Had the best record of our team too. I went 4-2. So like 3 manatees
Okay.
in a not a trench coat, in like a t-shirt and jeans can go plus in a tournament bracket playing standby.
So
Oh god.
this in a trench coat thing reminded me of this thing where it was like,
That's how Weiss tourneys go, man. That's just the state of Weiss shorts. It's just a pile
okay,
of raccoons in
we are
rat suits. Alright. Next card.
your 3 reviewers, and we are all manatees.
That means we're perfectly
need,
qualified
like,
for
a-
Weiss Schwartz card creation, right? Because between the 3 of us, we have 2 of us
Perfect.
pull the effects, and then the third one just finds the art. That's what the other manatee's for, right? Like taking screenshots.
I think so.
Alright. Nailed it. Oh, God. Alright. Well, if you can nail reading this Kobo card.
Okay, I will. It's a 1/1. It's got a soul trigger. That's pretty sick. Soul trigger. It's assist to 1,000 to all your VTuber Hololive. And when your climax is placed in climax area, if that card has a soul trigger icon, choose one of your characters and it gets 500 power, and on reverse, draw 1, discard 1. So this
So
works with pants, shot, wind, and stock souls
And standby.
and standby. I wouldn't play this card in standby, but that's okay.
Understandable.
Darn. You didn't
Well-
even print this on a blue stock soul for her level 2 combo.
I didn't? Did I print out pants?
No.
No, fair.
Yeah. That's
Well,
a
Well, that still is a soul trigger.
Yep.
Still
It
is a
does,
soul
but
trigger.
it would have been nice to have it be on like a combo that wasn't just something Hololive already had.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Like,
bro, you
Hololive
should have
is-
made the Narissa stock soul
Oh,
because she doesn't wear
God.
pants.
You know what? In hindsight, yeah, in hindsight, Narissa and Kobo can both be like 2 souls, and then the only card that doesn't
Yeah.
have them is actually
It's
no.
not
That
like
would
Narissa needs the 1k from her combo. She already has no backups on her.
yeah, but 10k like you gotta find a way to give her some power at more than 10k so you can break things. Or
Okay, just play this card. Play this card.
could
It gets
play this
1,000
card.
power from this,
Probably
and then
just-
it gets like on attack. Oh wait, this card lets you. It's a 1-card dig. No, sorry, that's not as good. Never mind. Sorry.
No,
It's
it's on reverse, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You need the information, not the 1-card dig.
Like,
you do.
I don't
Do
know.
I care
Would
about
you put
this
card
card?
in standby?
Oh.
no, God,
You
no.
probably wouldn't put it in standby.
So what's funny is that this card was actually kind of hell to design because nowhere in the face of Weichforts do they have cards that just trigger if your climax has a single soul in it. So I had to do some brain thinking and come to the conclusion that one soul, like a single soul trigger, was harder, like because it was so easy to do, it had to be cost more, which is why it's 4k instead of 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this card. I think this card is like, I don't think this card has a home.
know,
I think this card, okay, maybe it's not that bad. It's like, in another set, I could see this being run. In Hololive, this is just completely outclassed by everything else.
absolutely not. I don't even know who Kobo is, and like the fact that this is one of her cards makes me sad for her. You know,
She's 3rd gen ID.
like I'm not excited. I'm not excited to play this card. I'm not excited to play the next card because I know that she's only getting 2 cards.
She getting 3.
You know.
Yeah, you get 3 if you don't have a card before,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, but one of her cards is a climax, isn't it?
There's a climax combo, and then there's another one on top of that, yeah. So she
There's
has
another one.
a climax combo, and the card right after is also Kobo. Big on. Holy
Dude,
shit.
I'm already looking at the next card and I'm like, no, this is not it.
Yeah, no. Flood the water card, Gura. When this card's placed on your stage for your hand, if you have 4 or more other VTuber Hololive characters, take a VTuber Hololive character in your winning room, put it at the bottom of your stock, so, full board, make it free. When this card's trigger check reveals card is soul and its trigger icon, this card gets 2,000 power till end of turn.
Yeah, you can play it for free, and it's big on attack. If yeah, no, you don't need
I was
this.
about to say you play a 1/1, it comes down for free, and then you whiff your soul trigger, and then it swings for 4,500
500.
power
Yep.
and does nothing else.
It just
Yep.
dies.
The manatees have declared this
All
card
right.
terrible. Alright. Nice card.
Ooh,
Good lordy.
This is the only card with multiple
double
arts I've ever
arts.
made. It's the only one I've ever
You-
made. Because this artist
You're
made
you're
two good
him.
ones.
I like Risu. This card better be good. I swear to God. You better put one good Risu card in this set.
Nope,
Alright,
not
if all your
allowed.
characters are Hollow ID, or if you have a Corone, oh no, or they're all Corones. This card gets 6k power and non-stop nut.
Oh god, I didn't fix that typo. So technically it doesn't trigger with a fucking assist. Damn it!
Yeah,
It should be the
it's
same
You
just
should
trait.
just.
passive,
Yeah.
non-stop nut. It's passively nutting.
I was about to
Cool.
say just take the S off the other ones.
Alright.
Nonstop Nut is superior.
Cool.
Alright, so when this card direct attacks, if you... Oh, there's no condition. You just choose a V2 or a Hololive character and put it to stock. That's a cool effect. We like that effect.
Yeah, direct attack stock is good.
And then... Oh my god. Alright, and then when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed... Finally, a real card. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if there's a climax in your climax area, choose a VTuber or Hololive character and put it to stock. We like this card. We love this card. So if you're playing a Risu Korone like style deck where you just get a bunch of Risus or other ID characters on board, this can either when it direct attacks gain a stock, or when it kills its opponent you gain a stock. Either way, you're getting stock.
Yep.
We like it. I love this card. I love it.
Because she's got to save for
I was
November.
yeah, I was thinking you could get this double time to get 2 stock with this, but then I read it again and I was like, okay, well, you're never getting 2 stock with this, so it's not strictly better than Amelia, but you do always get the stock and you don't have to accelerate with it. So that's arguably a feather in its cap.
I mean, it's trait locked to ID. You're only ever refunding the first one you play down unless you can defend this.
I mean, 10-5 cross turn's pretty defendable.
Like, I think you're putting in a lot of investment deck building to play this card and then not actually getting much out of it. He said finally a playable card, and I was like, actually, I think I'm on this train.
I like that. Here's the other thing you can do with this. If you have the Eofi level 0, you can pay 1 and early play the Risu level 3. And then if you have 1 lane of this, now you've completely funded the cost of that other Risu early play. And if you're already gonna have the climax down to get the clock kick, so now you have this this ability online as well. I'm probably like grasping at straws here, but like any fucking reason to make that Risu more playable is like good, because that card is absolute ass, and this card makes that card like 1% more playable because it at least synergizes with it, you know.
So here's the weird thing, right? This card doesn't pay for any cost. This card pays for itself. And then the Risu's problem was never actually stock. It was like you invested so much hand and you could only ever get 1 back from the combo. So if instead this like top check reveal, if it's a character, add it to hand, even if it was like ID and Corone locked, you could at least then play it in that character deck and like solve part of the problem of early playing the Risu. But instead, you're getting stock back, and it only gets the stock back done for this card and not anything else, really. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I mean, there's not
I
a world
think
where you
this
get
card-
this as a 2-0, right? Like, it has to be a 2-1, because there's no way that you print this as a 2-0 that doesn't have a stock cost.
Well, yeah, yes, correct. Like, and Hololive has a bunch of these. There's like a Fubuki. I think that one searches a character if you have a climax in play, if you get a reverse. And then the Ame is accelerate when you get reverse blind stock 2. And then there's an Iris that was like on reverse if you have a climax in play. I think it's blind stock 1. It's stock 1 from somewhere. So like they have these profiles already in a much like less locked way, and one of them can go get you a hand, which is actually Risu's problem, not stock, really.
I gotta
Anyway,
go back and read some of those cards then.
they're like
I think this was pretty good.
Ame's in yellow, but the other two are in green.
You know the one thing that would make this better? Well, you know how the Yofi can like sack itself and pay 1 to early play the Risu, right?
Oh, if this had a way
Yeah.
to early play?
No, no.
No.
What if there was like a 1-0 Risu like what if like let's go back to this other Risu, right?
Hmm.
Just stay with me here. Okay, so like let's say instead of this having the ability where like it would like do the like sack self to recur thing, what if instead it was rest itself, choose a character with Eofi in its card name, send it to waiting room, and then if you did, you could get the Squirrel Girl and early play it.
What if this card was Empress Blacks for research?
Yeah. What if this card was that? Yeah.
Mandatory Pikmin reference.
Then you
Let's
could
go.
get a 10-5 on direct attack stock character.
And on
Yeah.
reverse. And 11-5 on reverse because you're just gonna play a climax. Dear God.
As if 8 Standby Hololive wasn't already broken, you could get a 10-5 level 2 out at level 1.
A one. I mean,
How broken would that be?
actually, if you put a level one,
I
if
was
you put
about to say.
a level one condition on it, and then you made it like just sacrifice a VTuber or a Hololive character, I actually I do like that as just like a.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's good, but like I mean, I don't know. It's funny.
I mean, like
It's
again,
like
you limit it, so like
standby.
you can even hold on, wait, you can even not make it like a level like an early play. Just give her the stock cost. Just give it the fucking. They have cards that just say give name -1 cost in your hand, right? Just give the give the backstage Risu that.
Yeah, or like play the name without paying any cost, like in the Rio and Ochi.
Well, I mean that technically has a cost, which is sack a guy. But yeah.
No, it doesn't. The cost is if you have the Ochi on board, you can play the card without paying its cost and then send it to waiting room.
You don't pay 2, you sack a character. That's still a cost.
Yeah, the way it's worded is different though.
It essentially Grisai has the same like package, right? So if you have a full board, because of the way it's worded, you can actually overplay the card that you're supposed to sack for cost.
Yes.
So that's why it's worded in the way it is, because then you can overplay the thing.
Okay.
And then you don't have to sack one.
Gotcha.
I had a full board at locals the other day, and I was actually hesitating about doing that because I couldn't remember if I could.
This is legal.
But now I know for next time.
Grisai one's really funny because it's bonds to your level 1 combo and to that early play, and then you sack it off to get to play the early play for free, and then it gets bodyguard for a turn cycle, and it's pretty big. Yeah, so Risu is still getting pretty chaff cards, actually. Oh, good God, what is this?
Smoocho texted, would you prefer that I read this one, blank?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, this card, so it's no need to fix her, Shiora Novella. 2-1, 5500. She is perfect the way she is. This card gets 3000 power for each marker underneath this card. During the turn this card was placed on the stage from your hand at the beginning of your climax step, take an advent card from in your waiting room, put it face up underneath this card as a marker. Note, you can have another marker underneath it with inheritance already, from your other effects. So you can get this to 2 markers, swinging at 11-5 just by existing, and, taking 1 from your stage. When your other character, it has inheritance, it's not called inheritance because I had minor complaints from another Discord server where I showed this card, because they're like, oh, inheritance is an Umamusume thing. You can't use the same keyword. It's like, but the keyword explains what the card does. It's shorthand. But when your other character is placed on the stage from your hand, if that character doesn't have a marker underneath it, you may put this card and up to one of this card's markers underneath it as face-up markers. If you do, put the rest of this card's markers in your waiting room, put the top card of your deck into your stock, because that's how the level 2 ones do it, because they refund you the stock that you played for paying the card in the first place. And then, the accessory effect, because she's going to be committing crimes with your girls. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if there's a climax in your climax area, choose a VTuber Hololive character to waiting room, put it into your stock. So you can
you did not.
You can actually put this under the Risu and make it on reverse stock for waiting room twice with a climax in your climax area.
Okay.
Or you can make Ame stock for you with a climax.
Okay. Alright. More importantly, you did not just print this card to make Risu's only like D+/C card completely irrelevant.
No, they stack. You can stack them.
I know they stack, but you can also just give Risu's effect to
To
any
any
character.
character. Yeah.
Right.
I did not design these
That's
two
the most,
cards in the same brainwave.
that's the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen.
When your other character is
Which is
placed
sad
on
because I also
stage
like
from
Risu.
hand, if that character doesn't have a marker, so you pay 1 to play this,
Huh?
and you play another card from your hand. Then you put this card underneath it as a marker, and if you do, you blind stock.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, so I don't know.
that
Let's
is
just say, for example, you're playing 8 standby Hololive.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You can like standby this out at level 1,
Uh-huh.
and then like when you play the Kanata that's like attacks for 12k, you can just mark this and get a stock back. And then the Kanata is gonna win its lane, so it's gonna get you in their clean stock. And also, incidentally, if you're playing other like accessory cards, you can also. God, this is so stupid. You can choose the Fuamoko that gets hexproof, and then stick that card into the Kanata too.
Yeah, provided that you oh god. Oh my god, cause it's oh fuck you're right. Oh no. Because the timing. Dear
Oh,
God.
shit.
That's horrifying.
What's
It-
even
Okay.
better is
Oh,
So
wait,
you
wait,
remember
wait.
this other card that I gave a B+2/S?
oh yeah, that's like plus
It's the
500.
very first Biju.
It's like plus
The
500 for
very
each
first
marker.
Biju we reviewed is while it's a marker, it gives the character
Oh, and
500 power for each of its markers. So if you have this with the novella, if you have the novella with this other one, now it's giving whatever character is a marker like 1k and this on reverse effect, right? So like your cards that are bigger cross turn can scale even higher. So like if this gets put under a Luna, if you're hard playing a Luna, now that card's like a 16/5 cross turn plus whatever all the other power pumps it's getting. Your Oz keys are like what 12/5 cross turn now, plus whatever power pumps they're getting. Wild, absolutely wild.
Oh, I
I don't
found
know
a
if it's better than
problem.
just playing straight 8 standby in the current list that it's in, but like there are some implications with this card.
I found
Jesus.
a problem with the Kanata thing, by the way.
Did you?
Because yeah, so Kanata comes from hand, right? And when I was like, oh, you can get the markers. The problem is Kanata needs 4 or more to do her combo. She needs full board to do her combo,
That
and
she
you lose the
does.
stage
Oh.
spot.
Yeah, you can't do
So that
both.
doesn't quite work. The standby stuff is like funny. I don't know. I don't think this is like anything insane in terms of like the text on this card. I'm sure there's a way you could break it,
Oh yeah, because you have a card
but
that says 500 and hexproof, and when it's a marker, you can just put that under this, and just play whatever. Put them both under whatever
yeah,
card you want.
You can
yeah, and
also,
that
whenever
card
you
also
play,
never loses its markers because it can't be touched unless you're playing against
yeah,
Freerin.
Yep.
whenever you play any early play, you can just get the 2 markers you need. Whenever you play Suicide, now she's hexproof. Whenever you play
And that's a non-reverse effect.
Ayame, right now she's hexproof. That's pretty good because like what does Slime and AOT do? They just put up early plays and then they slam down cards that say you can't touch these. Like I guess Slime can't play Shizu anymore, but like when they could, Jesus Christ.
This deck would not be able to do it as easy because essentially you have to neg 2 hand or neg a hand to do that
Or
to
play
get
their
1
farmer
card
too.
hexproof.
It's a cost, for sure.
You wouldn't need to, would you?
Well, because you only get the
You play this
marker
card
from
from
your waiting
hand.
room. You only get the marker from waiting room, climax phase, the turn it's played from hand, right? So you could get a free marker on it, but you have to live a turn before you can do the early play shenanigan. So you have to play it from hand, but you can get it to 2 markers, swing as an 11/5. You just need it to live a turn, and then you could put it under any finisher. You could theoretically do it with some like other thing, but like I think the strategy that this was built in mind with was to do obviously to put this as a setup for Narissa to make her more ridiculous.
I mean, as we've seen, they're way better finishers than like Narissa's kind of crack, but then there's also other crack in this
You
set.
like go plus stock with a Narissa with this under it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's very stupid.
He.
Maybe it's good that that card doesn't really play.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. That makes me like at least some part of this advent package. It's doing what it's
Is
supposed
there a
to.
way to switch your accessories around?
Not.
I don't think
I
so,
don't
because
think.
the event didn't do it.
Yeah, this is the last advent card, so no, you can't like trade them to other cards, which would be interesting. Like that is a thing that, in theory, in advent, like an accessory thing of like like either you're changing out your accessories if you're your bijous, right, or you're just taking different accomplices with you to commit your crimes because that's the accessory keyword. So that actually is a cool idea. I don't think I could cram that in here at all, but for the next thing I do accessory with, switching around markers on your characters absolutely should be a thing.
You can choose to use the Biju door combo and put that under a marker as under the novella,
Hmm.
but it doesn't really do anything. It's just another marker, and then when you play another thing, it becomes another target that you can just trade off to the character. But remember, the Biju combo is when your character is front attacked, you can return it to your hand and ditch a card to give it 1k until end of turn. So it's just like it's basically a 1k boost, one time
No,
only.
it's
Like
a
it's
it's
not.
a minus. It's a minus because it loses a marker, so it loses 3k.
Right,
Oh,
like
sure.
yeah, like no, I'm saying if you were gonna give the novella marker effect to another character,
Yeah.
the Biju door combo might be a card that you could pass on, and you wouldn't have to wait a turn to do it because you can just use the Biju effect. You don't have to, like you're still waiting a turn, but there's at least a little bit of agency there.
Gives you extra powers. That's because climax and climax area. Never mind. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting both these.
you're.
I
Hold on a
didn't
minute.
like the
So you
Biju
can
combo.
you can play the event, you can play the Biju combo, and then you can get the Fuomoko. And that's 3 markers. So with that, you can swing
I got
at what?
14-5. Yeah.
14-5, 15-5 with Climax since you played the door.
Uh huh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's big.
Um,
It's big as
I don't
hell
think
if you
it's
could.
broken though.
Probably not. It's
It
15-5
doesn't really
cross turn,
affect my rating.
which is fun.
Probably not, but what I will tell you is that I know in Uma you could only ever get. Well, actually, no. Uma set 2 just revealed a way you can get more than 2 markers, so never mind.
And I
Don't
mean,
listen to me.
this patently can get more because you have the advent event, you have a card that you mark on play, and as long as you play this from your hand, you get a third marker. So you easily can get 3 markers if you're willing to commit to it.
You're playing 2 stock and you're like ditching the event, but I'm assuming you have the Biju on board already. You can play 2 of this, play 2 of the event. Those become markers. Do the Biju combo twice. They both get you top 4, get a character.
Everything must
That's 2
go.
markers, and then they both marker the Fuomokos from your waiting room. So now they're 14-5s cross turn with hexproof, so your opponent can't touch them.
And market
And then on your
compression.
next turn, when you early play or when you do your combo, oh no, hold on, your Narissas, they have no backups, but they don't have hexproof, right?
So you
So
pass
now
this
your
on.
Narissas have this on reverse stock and the hexproof.
Yep,
Ooh.
that's the idea.
Like I know that Blank already said that, but like the point is that these actually being 14-5s with hexproof means they're super likely to live cross turn at level 2.
Oh yeah,
That's really good. I might give that a plus actually.
that is a strat
Yeah,
you can do.
that's probably a profile that they can't give to Hololive, but it's really cool.
Yeah, there's definitely a strat that I want to tinker with in a set that isn't Hololive. I'm thinking about it. I think I do actually know where to put accessory next. It's just gonna take a little bit to actually do anything with that. And it also means that if I want to ever review any of those cards, it's going to be reviewing cards that just don't have artwork for the most part, but that's fine. But yeah, I think that's enough words on the Shiori. I'm glad that she's good, because I do just think this idea is just insane. And I do like Shiori. Again, there's not a single Hollow Mem that I don't like. I just have been a little bit inconsistent on giving some of them good cards. I wonder if this Kobo would be a good card.
Alright, I got this one.
Cool.
Stormcaller Kobo. That's a pretty good name. I also like this climax art. It's pretty strong.
I know, right?
This card gets 2,000 power for each other hollow ID character in your backstage. So this is more ID locked stuff. When you reverse your battle opponent, you put two cards of your deck in the waiting room and deal X damage. X is the number of soul trigger icons
So that's the other reason I
milled by
can't make
this
this a
effect.
2-soul. Because I don't want the mill climax to just be 2. And there's enough. I already
What do you
need
mean?
enough 2-souls.
Just make it a burn 4. So you just mill 2 climaxes, burn 4. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I don't think that I don't think the Gilgamesh I stole this combo from was made for that, especially in the modern day.
I mean, like, it's like what worst case scenario if you really wanted to make this a stock soul? You could, like, say for each card
Yeah, I don't know how that
instead
changes
of
the
number of
math.
soul triggers.
I don't know how that changes the math is the issue. Because this is already a 500 cost combo, so I feel like it might end up being like some mess around where it's like it gets power at the end of opponent's turn or something at that point. I don't know.
I mean,
What's
there's
so
that
bad
Zeta
about
that has a.
3 on reverse MILF, 2 burn 3?
Because it's a level 2?
I mean,
I don't know, that just feels... I'm literally just taking Gilgamesh, right, that I found this on, and putting it on this Kobo with actually like a decent amount of power, because I don't think the Gilgamesh quite got to 11k, even with Climax down. And it wasn't on a 2-soul either, which I feel like was a thing that they consciously did, so I didn't want to mess with that.
Burn 4s, like, if you're willing to mill 2 climaxes, and, like, a burn 4 is, like, decently likely to cancel anyway. For me, it's more like, if this was not hollow ID locked, this would get played in Gura, like, immediately, I think. Because what they would do is, all this shit has soul triggers already, right? And your entire deck has soul triggers already. Also, on top of that, if they played this in Standby Gura, you could do this at level 1, which is hilarious.
yeah, it's true. I didn't
It's
think of
just
that.
like, oh yeah, you're level 1, burn 4, die. Or burn 3, burn 2, whatever, if this was on a stock soul instead of a pants. Although, your one other Kobo climax for burn 3 would be, because I'm assuming you're running like 4-2-2
Yeah.
with Gura, and you just like, because you're playing 4 climax swap in that deck anyway, because your climax swapper has a fucking soul trigger, because.
The Inanese card is very powerful.
I don't know if we talked about it, but I want to go back to, I think it's slide 42. So, like, we talked about playing this in Gura with, like, the Kai level 1, right? The one downside is that you need to have 2 ID characters in your backstage to have it be the 10k, right? But if you're playing this Rene combo, you're probably going to have 2 Renes in your backstage. Every turn you slam the door, you get to reveal top, and then if it's a character, you add it to hand. So, like, you have the 2 characters, you can just every turn pay 1, rest 2, look at 4, add a level 1 or higher card from among them to hand. If you play 2 of the Rene combo, you can set up your Kobo that way, and it plays it 2 fairly well. The downside being you're playing probably less cards with soul triggers in your deck that you could, so it's slightly less optimal.
Yeah.
But
There's a cost.
it is a path you could take.
There's that Zeta that is like,
The
has a
ones.
soul trigger and
Yeah.
can side attack without soul penalty and stuff too.
Oh, that's
So that helps you
poggers.
fix for red for costless soul triggers.
And for hollow IDs.
The other thing is, like, now that you mention it, Hololive might have enough support to where you don't even need to play an early game combo, but I don't know if they have enough of it on cards with soul triggers.
Yeah.
But if you could make it work, you could just play 8 pants and play 4 of this and 4 Gura. Just be like, well, I'm just gonna mill. You just play like hyper aggressive because Hololive has Aqua Ricky, La Plus Ricky, Land Ricky, Kanata Ricky. They have the Ina Accelerator that can get you cards back.
Or
I
if we're
know
treating
about
this
early
as
plussing
real,
because Fauna doesn't plus regularly.
it also has the admin that can give itself and the event, the Aincrad event soul triggers. Your level 1 game plan could be 4 of the Iroha Brainstorm, 4 of the Aincrad event, you play 4 of this stupid Mori admin, and then every turn you're just gonna use her ability, look at 4, add something, and then just whatever, just punt whatever, and then on your opponent's turn, okay, you're gonna Aincrad, and then that's enough level 1s with soul triggers, right? Or like maybe you just play the Cali level 1 combo as a beat
Maybe.
stick. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
I mean, you definitely do that still.
I mean, the Zetas have.
It's just
20
like I don't know
rifle.
what.
Oh yeah, maybe you just
I'm
play the
more
Zeta with
thinking
the
like,
Aincrad event. Ooh, that's pretty poggers.
I mean, you do that too. You just have got to figure out what your ID macros are for this card.
Like,
I mean, it's the Rene combo, probably.
Yeah, because that also just gets you a card every turn.
yeah.
Still,
But I'm
If you're,
even though
willing,
saying
if you're willing to cut in the
even if
doors.
you don't play the combo.
Oh god, you're right. You don't
it's
even need to
actually
play the
No, don't
combo.
even play the door. We're talking about the
Oh
other
god,
effect.
you're right. Ah,
And,
shit, dog.
and
like
then
you could play the door, but
and
even
then
if
you
you
could
don't,
even, in
just getting
theory,
a
even
card every
cut
turn.
yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
You cut yellow because you don't have to play Cali anymore. You play less yellow. You still play Mastery stock swap, of course. But then your early game's more red because then you're playing the Zeta and the Rene that have soul the the Rene doesn't have soul triggers, but the Zeta has a soul trigger on it.
And you could use the Rene level 1 to
Like
get the
this could
Zeta
be
and stick it in back row. So that it counts for the Kobo when you get to it next turn.
no, you just slam two Renes in the back row and you put your Zeta in the front row and you just say, this has a soul trigger and can side without soul penalty. Fuck you. Because like the one downside of Cali was always that it was small. So it could die and your opponent would get direct attacks. But Zeta's just like, no, I solved the problem.
She's in your walls.
I just side and then reduce damage back because I'm still here. You could probably make something pretty gross with that. I don't know how good it would be,
Yeah.
but like you
Even
could make this hyper aggressive
even
mill
with
soul triggers deck.
even with only 2 Gura and a choice restriction on some stuff, like yeah, this is still totally playable as a Gura build.
Muna is also ID, right?
Moon is also ID, yeah.
Yes.
One of
So
the
you could
OGs.
also play the Muna
Muna
Brainstorm
Brainstorm.
and have 2 copies of that in your backstage, and Rico twice every turn whenever you slam the climax.
Oh, this might actually do something with the Muna combo we talk about later.
We're just theory crafting
Yeah.
Gura, but like yeah, and the Muna Brainstorm is blue, which also plays into your blue strategy.
Yeah.
I also love that it was like that Gura is Gura, and then this is like mini Gura.
Oh yeah, Kobo has such
Gilgamesh was the precursor for
Yeah, I just printed the precursor in the same set as the card, and you can play them together.
broken ass fucking
Oh, I gotta rate
unlock
this, don't I?
bullshit, man.
Yeah, y'all do have to rate the Kobo. How good is the Kobo? Is it good?
Um,
How good is
I think
Kobo?
it's got enough. I would have said it's average, but I think
I
we've
think
talked
I'm
about it.
gonna.
It's got enough support
I
that it
think it
could
would actually
potentially be
need.
playable.
I think it needs testing. Like I'm gonna give it a B plus for now, but it could be broken.
Could be.
And
Yeah.
then I do not want this to exist. No, dear God, no,
Yeah,
not in Hololive.
it doesn't need to exist in Hololive.
I
I think Gilgamesh combo
I
is
want it to
interesting.
I want it to exist in the capacity that I want it to be a payoff for playing ID, but like the fact that Gura can exploit this means it probably can't
Oh!
exist. But I do want it to be in here.
I think for the same cost, I can make it Hollow ID trait characters. That would be interesting. I mean, it kind of breaks down the soul theming that I had for Kobo, but Kobo doesn't actually need to be soul trigger themed. I can find something else to be raindrops. Like the idea of like it being specifically ID characters and it's super ID locked, but also the ID identity, that's a song they have, by the way, is like something along the lines of like playing every hollow Indonesia character you can get. Because I think with this set you have the climax lineups and you have some other cards like lying around with them on them that make good support. There's a build in here somewhere that is hollow ID focused. And if I made that
Yeah, you could
hollow ID
play
characters instead of trigger icons, that means that Gura can't use it,
you
but
could play
the
this
ID can.
you play this broken Zeta level 3 and use her standby to stand by your Gobo at level 1, and then kill them at level 1, and then have this stupid Zeta level 3 combo. Just kill them.
You can
I
kill
don't
them
know.
at 3 levels.
That too. You could also do that.
Oh, that'd be
You just
cool.
murk them at every level.
Yeah, if third gen's thing was just fucking icing you, like that sounds like Gen 3. Gen 3 is
They don't ever get a plussing combo. It is all just death.
Yeah. I mean, they don't
Every
need it to
single
have Zeta at
combo,
level
every
1.
level
You don't
just
need a
deals
plus
damage
combo.
instead.
yeah, with the Zeta
They do
on
have
board.
Zeta.
Yeah, the Zeta 1. The Kayla is also, I think, actually a plussing combo, kind of.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about if you change the design of everything to where you just
Just to make it all aggro all the time.
Where you just made everything damage.
Hololive is enough plus.
Like you give the Hololive is enough plus on its own. You just do damage.
Just
All right.
damage.
Speaking of Kobo,
Yeah, last card for Kobo.
Trick and Treats Kobo Kaneru. Alright, this card gets 1,000 power for each of your other VTuber Hololive characters, so it's like, what, 12k cross turn?
Yep.
That's pretty big. On play from hand, ditch a card. If you do,
big.
choose a climax in your waiting room, return it to hand, and it gets 1,000 power. It's on a turn. That's lame. I mean, it's fine, but it's lame. When your character's trigger check reveals a climax with the soul trigger, your opponent puts the top 4 cards of their deck into their waiting room.
This card's really funny.
Oh my god.
This card's a standby
Oh
card.
my
Uh-huh.
god.
This card's such a
Oh
standby
my
card.
god. Oh my god.
Okay. So you
Oh, okay,
you
wait.
stand
It's,
this.
it's only when you trigger a
you
climax. I misread that.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
not
it was
a
whenever
card.
it revealed a card.
She'd be super
Okay.
small if it was card. Or
Oh
small.
boy. Okay.
She'd only get to like
Okay.
12k. She'd get to 12k and then 11k cross turn if that was all
Okay.
cards.
Are you mathing this the same as like specific trigger ones?
I mapped it
Like
as
climax
more
with a
expensive.
soul trigger?
No, it's more expensive.
Okay.
So
I'm just checking.
I can let me just see my notes. The power condition is 2k. Pitch for climax.
So
with
this
power
card
plus
is
of
funny.
500. Soul trigger reveal mill is 1k. Which I think the Lyco Reco card that I stole that third effect from is only paying 500 for the door version, I think.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so
Yes, it is, because it's a check 3 brainstorm.
yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's the idea.
I don't think this card would actually see play, because like the mill effect is too uncontrollable, even in
Yeah.
Hololive. But it is funny.
You could put this in a deck with Noel.
So, couple things. This card has very anti-synergistic effects because it wants to trigger climaxes to get the mill for, but it has on play ditch a card to salvage a climax.
You can't
But
trigger
you
if
want
it's
the
in your
climax
deck
to go back to
anyway.
your deck. So you want to play 3 of this, play Crony to refresh, and then hope you trigger 3 times. You don't want to ditch one.
Dear
Get
God,
the
no! Why are you?
But-
You are
No,
you are
hear me
thinking
out.
about
Hear
this
me
card
out.
all the wrong way, brother.
No. I'm not. Hear me out. I wish this card had on play ditch card to either salvage climax, gain 1k, or do something else, like bounce an opponent's character, like something. Because at the moment the effect is anti-synergistic. 'Cause the only payoff for this
Bro,
card
you need
is if you field 3 of it and you trigger 3 climaxes, you get to mill your opponent 36, which is like 1 uncancelable damage. But that's like the best case scenario for this.
You could also have this in the
you
back row
need
with
to
the
ignore
Noel
this
on.
bottom line of text.
Okay, cool. So I'm ignoring the bottom line of text. Why would I not just play Watame and do the exact same thing? Pay 1, salvage the climax, and then immediately discard the climax to salvage your character. That card is more modular than
Perfectly
this,
fine.
and it's
Correct. This bottom
yeah,
effect is
like, I
not
don't-
good, is what I'm telling you.
I mean, this swings at 13k the turn that you do that. It sits at 12k where Watame isn't nearly as defensible.
I guess I don't know.
This plays well with Zeta, because Zeta only does one thing like that anyway. So you need other like standby cards, but also like this bottom effect is so random that I would never sleeve this card. Because I've sleeved the Lyco Reco one, and it hasn't bit me in the ass yet, but that's because every time I actually care, I either don't trigger a door, so I don't decompress my opponent, or I trigger a door and it does nothing, like nothing changes, or I overplay it because I don't want to trigger a door.
I mean, Lyco Reco doesn't have
Like-
Cinderella, and I feel like you could put this together with like Noel. You have like some combination, like 2 of these at the back and 3 Noel at the front, and your opponent is just like you get an extra like
Yeah.
a number of mills.
Oh lordy. This
Let's
card doesn't
be
have to
very
in
clear.
shape to do.
Noelle is
Oh.
not Cinderella. Noelle is Nemo. Nemo has to pay 2 stock for its effect.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, Noelle has to pay 2 stock to do her mill 20 and the Mocha 1 afterwards.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
Oh, wait, and is that on attack that she does that? I actually don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like pay 2 on attack. So doing all this is like pretty expensive.
So you hit the Mocha, you get rid of a climax, and then you're milling another 4 off the top of their deck if you hit a trigger.
Yeah, it's like so then it's like anti-synergistic because you mocha the one and then you trigger a climax and you milled 4 and then you put them closer to a cancel and then you fucked yourself.
I
And
didn't
like
realize you could get 4 of these out on board and then be milling 4 potentially 4 times. So
Yeah, it stacks.
if you happen to have all 4 of them out, you can get like mill 48 potentially, but that's still the best case scenario, and you're probably still only dealing 1 and cancelable burn 1 with that.
Yeah, it's still a meme.
I
But it's a
I
13K.
would
Like if I was gonna make my opponent mill 24, I would rather play Noel. I would rather play
You can play it with the Noel, is the thing. You can do the both.
what was the what was the other new combo that was really cool that we were talking about? Wasn't there some other
Oh, you know
combo
what's
that was like that?
I don't know, but you could play this with Kiara with the shot, which is funny.
Ooh.
This is never milling you more than 48. Like why would I ever play 4 of this on board to maybe mill 48 when I could play 2 Cinderellas?
Because
I
we
don't
don't play toxic cards like Cinderella. That's why.
yeah, like no, like this card isn't completely terrible, but like I don't.
Don't you die.
And like again, we've already seen Noel. Hololive doesn't need this. I don't know. I feel like I'm being a little mean, maybe, but like I don't know. I just there's not a use case for this. I would rather just play Watame or Noel, honestly.
Agree.
But at least Noel
But
has a double combo. Like there's at least a payoff for the mill 20, you know.
Alright. The
oh
last
no.
3 cards are
It's
Oh
climax
no.
combos in a row. People have already seen this one
I
because I foreshadowed this one. I'm greeting this one. I don't care about the order. Let's talk about Wonderful and Human. Nunumai Nanis. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, this card gets 1500 power and the following ability until end of turn. If this card would attack, you may choose a card in your opponent's backstage, and this card frontal attacks that character as a defending character instead. Pay 2, pitch 2 on reverse with the book in climax area. Put that character in clock and deal 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought this was Buzz.
No, it's Levi
At first.
Deepgrudge that swings to your back row.
I think
It's
this is fine.
Yeah,
oh no, it's fine for sure.
that's the target. I wanted this to be playable. I didn't want it to be broken. I want Bushiroad to print this.
I
Flavor
wish this
text
was
and
Buzz
sugar and
Lightyear,
all.
dude.
I wish it was
I would-
Buzz Lightyear too.
I
Buzz
was
Lightyear's so
watching
cool.
that review back, and I was like, damn, this card actually is really silly. I like that you can like, because the thing with Buzz Lightyear is, yeah, it costs 5 to restand, but like, you could potentially kill 4 things with it. You know, you could potentially shoot 4 of their characters to clock.
If you like Buzz Lightyear, I have great
I was about
news
to say
for you.
you
You can go watch the
This is
Dress
only
Up
ever
Darling
shooting-
review.
This is only ever going to shoot 2 of your opponent's characters, and it's probably going to be their backstage ones. I also like that if you stand by this in, you could still get the combo. You know, like you'd prefer to hard play it so you can have it swing at 12k, but like you could. It's
I can still swing 10-5 front.
it's like it's not like a climax combo with an on reverse restand during a turn it's played. It's like it's. I've played Levi a lot. I think it's one of the best combos Ushi's ever printed. But
Okay, that's high praise considering we're talking about a set with Gura in it.
I think it's really
Well-
good. I don't think it's like I think it's best in the way that like it's not the most powerful, but it feels good and like in a balanced way. There's a cost to it, but like it's still a cool effect.
You didn't let me finish. I think Levi is one of the best finishers in Weiss because it's 11-5 on turn, and on play you can top check 3. So if you play it down for 2 stock and you have like, it only takes 6 stock to double. It's pretty efficient, and it digs for its own climax. So if you don't have the bar, you can check top 3 to get the bar. This for its own combo, because the on play effect is getting to hit the backstage. So you have to already have the book. Also, Levi is on a bar, which is a combo that can get itself to hand much easier, you know? Book in Hololive doesn't have any support. Like, if this was on a pants, you'd at least have more support for it. Like, this effect is good, but it's good on Levi because of other factors that the set has that it can support it.
So you're telling me I can make the Ena
In
card more
EN,
broken?
I'm saying you could. Levi's 11.5 cross turn. You might be able to. Like it's on a book trigger. I would never play. Book trigger is like such a mid trigger, and it's harder to get the card. Even in Hololive, it'd be hard to guarantee this potentially. EN's whole strategy is like having the soul triggers for Gura and stuff. This card doesn't really play into any of that. It's just another way that you can kind of out their board and out back row cards. I'm not saying it's anti-synergistic, but it doesn't really synergize with anything that EN's already trying to do. It kind of feels like its own thing.
Yep.
And that's not a bad thing. It just feels anti-synergistic. Levi's a combo you might give a B plus to because it has like 3 sets worth of support to back it up. I think for me this is a C plus. I think it's a great combo, but I don't know how this fits into the Hololive greater ecosystem. I think there's way better cards that you can play.
Hey, do you know what's really funny playing into Levi? Things that can deny reverses. You know what this card's never gonna have a hard time with? Reversing your
reverse.
opponent's back row stage.
Yeah,
Because his back row cards are tiny. And it's like, yeah, oh no, I have to find my climax or whatever. Yeah, AOT also doesn't have stock swap. At least not that I know of.
no, you're right. They don't.
And like,
Fun
you have to realize, AOT's got 3 sets of support. Hololive had 3 sets worth of AOT support in set 1.
Yeah.
Like they did
No
not care
offense at
about
all.
rarity at all. Like their best card's a fucking comet. You're like, oh, in AOT this combo's this, and it's like I gave this a B plus because the combo's good and like the card text is good, and because it has all of Hololive supporting around it. Yes, you have to select this combo. It's kind of one of those things where it's like it's in a better set, so that's a positive because it has more support, but it's in a better set, so you might not play it at all kind of thing. It's like this weird like duality.
Are
If you,
there any other
but like
unreversed
this card didn't
in Hololive? Not really.
finisher wise, I don't, not off the top of my head,
On
but
reverse combos? Is that what you said?
I guess it's
Coco.
really just
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's Coco.
Yeah.
Mainly Coco.
I think this is better than Coco. It doesn't heal, but at least you're more likely to get the combo to go off.
Yeah, you at least deal damage.
I was about to say this
Maybe
card's
it's
gonna.
not a C plus. Maybe it's like a B minus.
In terms
But
of
like,
being on book, like you can play 8 book now because there's that weird Chiori card, I guess. But
yeah, but
yeah, there's not really any
there's
support
no
for it.
payoff for playing 8 book though. God bless you for not putting Toka support in here again. Like,
Yeah,
Hit a break, bro.
I've learned. You can do
I'm
other
gonna give
things.
this a sure.
yeah, I'm gonna
Your
give it a
opponent,
sure.
your opponent not having a back row
You know
after
what?
this is also really
I'm gonna
funny if they
say
want to brainstorm to try to finish.
I'm gonna say yes because like Hololive doesn't have any of these book finishers. I would want it printed just to see what it's like.
Yeah,
Even though I think Pants is better for this.
I
I
can
mean,
make
it's
this.
just a better trigger in general. So
I feel like
That's what I'm saying.
you know what you could. I feel like if this was, what if this just was the card the way it is, but it had like a 500 early play condition on it?
no, dear
Oh,
God, could you stop trying to break sets? I swear to God,
stop
stop
doing
it.
the Donald thing. Wait, look, like, do you want me to go off again? Do you want to have a repeat of that Alf early play? Because that's what's gonna happen.
It's like, oh yeah, you need your back row to brainstorm to try to get your finisher set up. No, go to clock forehead, and you just start killing, like fucking up their back row and dealing legitimate finisher damage at level
Bro,
2. Can you not?
imagine if there was like a 2-1 that early played this in the same way that Rushia was, and now you're in an arms race every time you're up against like Hololive. It's like, who can early play their Ina first to out the other person's assist card? Like, you kill the Dragon Maid thing
Yeah,
to stop them from
dude.
coming out.
I
Kill the
see.
Fubuki to stop Hachima from coming out.
So you think that it's
I guess
that good to
it's
really play
interesting
this?
designs.
Okay, interesting.
It's interesting design space in the sense that like, cool, here's a card that can come out early and clock shoot things to out other cards that early play other cards. Like that's an interesting thing because it has the Buzz Lightyear effect. But like, don't make it pay to ditch to on reverse clock shoot and burn to. Just make it like Risu. Make it like free clock shoot or on attack gain stock or whatever, you know. But like, hey, Risu already exists. So just print a card that makes Risu Buzz Lightyear during the turn she's played. You know what I mean? Like, do that, and then don't early play this.
So this is
Then
the
you're already
iris
hard to
effect,
finish
right?
too.
So the iris can early play, and
here we
it's paid. It's I got that ping one a million times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably 5 times. That's like too good to do at level 2. If that card was at level 3, I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, that's perfectly fine. It's the same way for this card. Like you bring out a legitimate like finisher that early,
Okay.
like it's too much,
Alright.
I think. Yeah, so
I
it's
ask,
like
why is
yeah,
this on a book anyway? Is it just flavor?
Yeah. It's Ina.
vibe check.
She's got the what is it, like the Eldritch book or whatever
The
that
ancient ones.
summons
Yeah.
her.
Ao-chan.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell this wouldn't be on a
I
book.
get it. But you know what else I don't like? In this custom set, you've already printed a bunch of cards that synergize with having climaxes with soul triggers on them, and this incidentally can't be played with those, which I don't think is. I don't know. I get that it's more flavorful to have her on the book, but I think that it's weird that it's anti-synergistic with some of those other cards.
Yeah, I get it.
Um,
I don't care, but I get it.
Alright.
There's no way that I'm making that a thing that, I don't know, maybe you could, but I feel like you would just yell at me for deciding on a way to do that, so I didn't do that, and I don't plan to do that.
You could make a book climax with a soul trigger, and instead of giving all your characters 1k 1 soul, it could just like, I don't know, on play.
Don't do
on
it.
play
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, there's another way
Don't
to do
don't
it.
do any of that actually.
There's a way easier way to do what you're trying to do that already exists, and you still would hate it. I know Blank would. So, no, we're not doing any of that. I might make just this card Rob, like a, I don't know. I feel like like, this is probably actually fine balance point.
I think it's fine the way it is
Fetch.
actually.
Yeah, this is perfectly fine the way it is. Because
It's like, oh, it
That's
needs
all
a
I need
soul
to do.
trigger. It doesn't need a soul trigger. You're not playing Gura, you don't need a soul trigger anymore.
Yep.
Oh, maybe that's the meme.
She's the replacement. Who needs
Would
soul
you play an
triggers?
empty book with a soul trigger and Gura?
Next card. Let's talk about the
No.
Muna.
I've read this card like 4 separate times because I like Muna, and I still don't know how I feel about it.
Oh yeah, that's a good sign. I made this before and we saw that Muna was real, or that Mume was real, or Muna got her finisher.
I'm gonna read it. When this card is placed on stage from hand, this card gets 15, and if you have another blue or hollow ID character, you heal. Now, climax combo. When this card's battle opponent comes reversed, you can sack 3 other blue or hollow ID characters and sack the climax to stack 3 and deal 4. I think I hate it. I think I prefer the reprint of the Bang Dream card that she got in the Ambassador set much more than this.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this card blows.
This is mostly an experiment in
You think it blows?
Cost substitution. Because it's just kind of funny that you can do this. Like, you can just say, alright, this costs no stock, but I'm clearing my own board to do it. Yeah, if you're Hololive, you have
You
awesome
think
issues.
this blows?
He does. That is what he said.
Compared to all the other shit we've seen, and compared to, like, I did just think of a funny thing you can do with this. I don't think this makes it good. And, like, it being free is, like, kind of funny. And you do have off finishers because you're Hololive. So what you do is you play this, 3 other blue characters, and then you play that Aki Rose that if it's by itself, it's like 18k.
Yeah, you just
wait, no. That's not if it's by
yeah.
itself. That's if you have 1 card in hand. Shit, this doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
No. You're not thinking. You're not thinking. You can no. Okay, so here's what you do. You gotta get that Iroha we talked about earlier. The one in yellow that's got great performance.
There you go.
That works too. Yeah, let's do
wait,
that gets power for backstage.
That gets power from backstage.
Yeah, but this says you have to put 3 other characters, and the Iroha only works if it's the only character in your stage.
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
No, only character in center stage.
You can have backstage, but you can't sack this for its own
Hold on,
cost, so there's not a way to, like...
Let me read this again. Yeah, so you have to. So your Muna has to kill its opponent.
Uh-huh.
and then you have to kill 3 other characters. So you still have to somehow have the Iroha. So you somehow have to field swap the Iroha to your front row.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
That wouldn't work.
not gonna work.
No.
So like technically it works, but the problem is it's not big because it gets power from back row characters.
Yeah, it's a small arrowhead at that point.
I don't know.
And it would be
I think
anti-synergistic to have
that,
those in the
dude,
background in the first place because they wouldn't be the right colors or traits to combo with this.
it's like,
All right, so
dude, this is just a cancel on 4. Like that's all it is. This is a cancel on 4 that you have to kill other members of your gang for.
okay, but
You
it
can
doesn't
get
cost anything.
It's free and you can get, well, I mean, it's free stock at least. And you can totally get that top check somehow. I'm confident you can do that.
Itch 1 card when this card is placed on stage. Pay 2 rest. Reveal top card of the. I'm trying to look at other cards we've seen because here's what I'm thinking. The real way you'd play this, quote unquote, real way you'd play this, is you'd play it with like 2 of the Kali Musashi or like the Noel or some other off finisher that Hololive has, right?
Oh wait, no, you play this with the Kanade.
You play it with a normal
Well,
Musa.
yeah,
You play it with
obviously. If this was real, you just play it with that. Yeah, obviously.
you play it with
But
a
like,
Kali and a Kanade.
yeah, you pay 6 stock. You play this in 2 off finishers.
No,
you do some damage.
You need
You
3
get
other.
you get.
For Hollow ID. You need one of your off finishers to be Hollow ID.
Okay, so you just play the Noels then. You just play 2 Noels, and then they're
There you go.
icy tailing for 3, whatever. It's fine. I don't know. I would prefer something else that's free. Like my game plan is I'm just saying hypothetically you could do it that way. My game plan is I'm slamming 2 Zetas and I'm just doing the Mickey burn as my off finishers because this isn't the real game plan. You're playing this sure because all you're doing is it's just 6 stock. You're 6 stock. You're wiping your board. You're getting to stack 3 burn 4, and if that somehow doesn't kill them, guess what? You didn't pay any stock this turn. So now you have stock left over, so you can tap counter potentially in this lane, or on your next turn, you can drop 2 Marines for free.
What the fuck?
Okay, you're on some like turbo crack, I
Yeah,
think.
You're
it
on
is
drugs.
turbo rack.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
you're on like the biggest level of copium I've ever heard.
That's Asakoko right there.
Like
This doesn't
you have
kill.
to
You can potentially
you have to
go
kill
into
you have
the
to
next turn.
you have to kill 3 other characters. If your opponent can't play around a tap counter with only 2 characters on board, like I don't know what they're doing. Not to mention, like this card doesn't refund you a hand or anything, so it's like you're
No, it
playing down all
doesn't.
this stuff. So and it's like, are you expecting to have enough cards to tap counter?
I don't know. If you have to, you can. I'm just saying, like you could.
I'm picking up the
You're more
ambassador
likely
set and I'm replacing this immediately.
You're more likely gonna just play 2 Marines and have one of them kill this off, so you can do the top 3. Add hopefully her climax.
Yeah, now that Muna has a combo, I don't have to make her a level 3 combo, so I could make her like a low level combo instead if I wanted, which is nice.
I really do think this card is being carried by the fact that you printed Zeta in this set. I think if it wasn't for that fact that Zeta has a Miki burn on it, that this would be absolutely useless. Because the only other card you can play with it is Noel. I don't think there's any other blue or ID off finisher, unless I'm mistaken.
The Somerset has the Rene that's on play burn one, but
Yeah, but
that's
that's just
like
off play burn. It
actually
doesn't do anything else.
actually all right, hold on. Because so if you have extra stock, you can like drop Renes, which is cool.
And you will have extra
I'm gonna go
stock
check the
'cause this is
Somerset
free.
because because ID's got 3
Wait, yeah,
gens now. They probably got something. Isn't
Kaela
the
also
Kala
had.
off finisher?
Kaela's also an off finisher, yeah. So that's another ID character you can swing with us.
It's pay 1, discard 2, you deal a damage, and then choose a card from your opponent's waiting room and place it on top of their deck.
But it's not.
It's also a
But it's also that's on attack that you do that. You pay that, so it's not like you can stack it and then stack the Muna on top, so it's guaranteed burn for.
Yeah, but you stack
also
twice in a row. You
Yeah,
get
you
2 chances to confirm your Muno damage.
Yeah, you do stack twice.
It's also a check X.
Bonkers. I mean, you're
Let
having
me
to have to
see.
fix for like 3 colors in ID, but you could do that.
I mean, they already expect you to. If apparently Bushi has decided that's the way they want to go, so I mean, it's doable.
I mean, I'm still reviewing this as if it's a real set. Never mind the fact that half these cards are absolutely broken. I would brew with this.
Yeah.
I
So
think I don't think it's,
my
you're right. I don't
problem
think it's the best thing we've
is
seen, but the fact that it can enable so many other off finisher shenanigans is potentially interesting.
with it. You talked about Zeta, right? Zeta's a good off finisher for this. And it's like, well, what if we played off finishers from any Hololive thing? Because Zeta's not locked, and then you have one lane of doing the standby broken ass thing, the Zeta combo. So it's like Zeta just outclasses this by a lot, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, because it is
but
also just insane
doesn't
by yourself.
doesn't Zeta cost a bunch of stock though?
Yeah, they have different cost
You're playing
setups.
standby.
Yeah, but the Zeta still pay 4 ditch 3. Like you still have to. No, I guess it's not
You're
that
playing
different, is it?
standby.
It's like one more stock to do the Zeta because you're hard playing the Zeta in 3 lanes, and you're generating 3 stock, so you need 1 floating, and you're paying 4 in 1 lane, so that's 7 stock. Whereas Muna just needs the 6 stock to play herself in 2 other lanes, and then you're good. But like, yeah, the
Yeah.
Zeta is way more deadly for sure.
This is really just an experiment in cost shenanigans. Because I found out the equivalences and I was just like, well, what could I do with this? And so we fucked around and we found out.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Burn 4, like, a technically you can make this a guaranteed burn 4 with the Roboco.
Oh, there is a card. Okay, yeah. I was wondering. Yeah,
No
Um,
blue.
is that how, well,
it's not a blue card. It would have to take up your only non-blue
yeah,
slot, basically.
yep.
But like,
They just play like
I
Tails or
don't know. You could do a guaranteed burn 4, or you could just like play a better deck.
yeah, you could just play
And like I
Mume.
don't.
Like, the fact that Mume exists kind of just completely invalidates this card. Because I was building this before either Ambassador or Summer released. And then the combination of those two cards just make, like, the whole point of this card was just that it was, like, a cost exercise at that point. So, like,
Yeah.
this card could now be whatever else I want it to be. It doesn't technically. She wouldn't even need combos. I could print like non-combo cards because she already has a combo, and she's still an under-supported member because ID didn't get cards until like promos and set 2. So like, there's still technically some sprinting space. And if I did that, like hypothetically, like you could use Muna to just patch holes in everything else.
You could just make this, instead of it being a stack 3 burn 4, you could make it a on reverse, just stack 3 characters, just straight burn 3, and it would arguably be just as playable.
Yeah, get rid of the trait requirements and color requirements. Just make it sec any 3 characters. Do that, yeah.
Or like, I'm saying don't even have a climax combo on it.
Ah,
Just make it an off finisher where the investment is sack your
second
whole
3.
board.
I don't think that
I mean,
works.
there's a card that exists like that in Hololive actually.
What card is it?
It's from this premium booster set 1,
Is that
the first premium booster.
That's not the Hachima.
It is the
it?
Hachima.
No, because she has
Yeah,
a
you have to
clock
be at
requirement.
3/6 to use it. That's what I'm saying. Is like technically there's a card that exists that does this
Yeah.
like sack stuff burn already.
The other thing you could do is, if this wasn't on a climax combo, is you could make this another top end in the Ollie deck,
Oh
where
yeah.
instead of doing any combo, you're slamming the door to play 2 Ollies, and that automatically funds the cost of this. It's like it would be like a aggressively slanted Hachima, right? Whereas Hachima normally is wiping both players' boards and then summoning the Ollies. With this, you could summon the Ollies, and then after everything's over, you can kill them off to either burn your opponent or do some other effect when it wins its lane. You
And
know?
that's so Muna too, because like she would just love beating the crap out of Ollie.
That checks out.
And
Do
read
I
the
want this
last
to
word.
exist? I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with no on this not existing.
Fair enough.
Because Muna's got better stuff now.
She does.
I still want it. I still like. I want something for ID, and I think this is something interesting that can play into that. Last card. We made it here. Precise and unwavering Ororo Crony.
Flavor text in contrast with
When this card is placed on stage from hand, if you have the sauna from the very beginning of this incredibly long video in your memory, you can heal one. Climax combo, when this card attacks, if Time's Up, which is this pants, is in your climax area, you can discard a card from your hand, put it to waiting room. If you do, look at up to 2 cards on top of your opponent's deck, choose up to 2 cards with X or total power from among them, put them into your clock, or into their clock in any order, put the rest into their waiting room. X is equal to the number of cards with different names as your memory times 4K.
So
Oh,
you
it's a
look at
total
top two
power.
and
That's
you
right. Yeah,
add them together.
that's
So
right.
to
I missed
get
that.
most everything, you need like 5 in
Yeah,
memory,
5.
and it still technically can whiff.
Yeah. Now it
Yeah,
can't hit climaxes because climaxes don't count as cards with power, right?
It says characters explicitly, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Alright,
in
missed
in
that.
any case, you're dumping the climaxes to their waiting room like a normal Mocha would, but
Yeah.
you're not getting the guaranteed damage into their clock.
So
I really like this card.
this
I think we were talking earlier. This doesn't really read like a promise card. The only real payoff for it is that okay, yeah, this Sana we were talking to death earlier.
this should have been like Karoni's card definitely should have been the Kurumi card from Data Bullet, where it's just like pick a card in your clock and burn that card's level +1
Here's the problem.
or some.
I thought about that. I really did. But the issue is, I can't just put cards I like in sets. And I just want to play Karumi. Like, I don't like Crony enough to replace Karumi in my heart. Which is ironic because I discovered Data Life after Hololive substantially. But, like, I can't do that. I can't just replace the girl and put her in Hololive where it just goes like why would you ever play the Karumi at that point? You could just play Hololive. You just play the Crony in Hololive and that's the same thing. It's like no, I wasn't gonna do it.
Because this card's not real. That's why.
So it's not like I'm
What do
going
you
to it's
mean?
not like I'm going to locals anytime soon, Blank. Any gameplay that I'm gonna be doing is like on a sim or just theorizing with people. And like, sure, I printed an Oshino card instead. Like,
Yeah, you just printed Ruby.
I haven't seen Oshino card. I don't plan on to. So it's like, I'm fine playing that card instead. I literally have the Karumi
This
in
definitely
real
should have
life.
had something. Yeah, me too. I have the waifu deck built over here. This still should
Yeah.
have been Karumi. She's a clock, bro. She's a clock.
Well, when you
Come
make
on, the flavor's right there.
well, when you make Hololive custom cards, you can do that.
My entire set's gonna be fauna. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Okay, so back to like this card instead of talking about how unfortunate of a flavor fail this is. So these effects, like I think they read really strong for somebody who hasn't played them. I've played this effect a lot in The Day I Became a God. Theirs is worded a little bit differently. It is for each differently named event in your memory. When you look at your opponent's top 2, you combine their levels. So if you have 4 different events in memory, you look at the top 2 cards of your opponents, you see a level 3 and a level 1, you can put them both into your clock. But if you see a level 3 and a level 2, you can put either the level 3 or the level 2 in their clock. Now, The Day I Became a God has like I think 7 with the new key stuff. I think it's at least 7 events they can get into memory.
Holy shit.
So they could hit everything, but it takes so much like dedication to do that because events
And you have to
are
be in like 4
tough.
colors to get all the events, right?
Yeah, most people just ignore the blue one because the blue one's got full field trait deletion counter, which was a promo that I did pick up because that card's cool, but I've never actually played it. So it's usually you've got 2 green ones, one search or climax, one salvage, a character, check if it's level 3 or higher, refund the stock. There's a mask, there's a search one, there's a level 3 stock swap event that they got in Key All Stars because the one they got initially was a stock shuffle and then nobody played it. But ultimately, this combo is just Coco Chino that dodges anti-burn but whiffs on events. In the best case scenario, that's what it is. you can have as many differently named cards as in memory that you want. This is still just essentially Cocochino that dodges anti-burn, which is like pretty good, but it's not like people are like, "Oh my god, it puts him straight to clock. It's insane." And it's like, well, no, it still whiffs on climaxes like a regular burn one does.
Yeah. I think the
It's like
Narissa is
my
way more egregious than this. Having read that card now.
uncancelable damage is something I do not enjoy, even in the tamest of forms. Like
I
I
mean, you do have a
enjoyed
condition for it.
the
You get to the combo funds the stock to pay for the on reverse top deck, and this like the crony is like, yeah, you have to have like 3 or 4 cards in memory before you get to like. No, it's actually like 4 or 5. You have to like 5 memory minimum in order to start turning this on. With the Narissa, you only need the 1 card.
now admittedly Hololive is a good set to do that in
Yeah,
because
no, it
they
is.
have a lot of memory stuff at this point. Like you have Lammy Ricky, the Polka goes for free, the Rize one anyway.
You've got a bajillion
Like
Gen
this
5 cards, yeah.
my only gripe with this is that this is definitely should not be a crony card. It's like crony should be something clock related, and then this is like this should be a Lammy card or something.
Yeah.
You could also have part of its cost be to put the sauna from your waiting, like ditch one and put the sauna from your waiting room to your memory. That could be another way that it sets up its cost that might fit the flavor better. And then you could like, I don't know. Like I get that this is Ruby, like straight Ruby, but like you could adjust it so you're looking at, I don't know. I there's not enough ways to get the sauna in your memory. Like if it dies and you already have the 2 or more memory, that then she's not going in there anyway.
You'd need 3 memory to do that, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking like maybe there's other ways that you could get that sauna in there.
I mean,
I don't
even
know.
then, if you already have one sauna in there, it doesn't matter because this procs on different names specifically.
Yeah, it's only the heal that matters for the
Yes,
sauna thing.
that's correct.
So yeah, you just
So you
should.
have to be playing Gen 5 stuff basically.
Yeah, at the time I didn't realize I didn't know what power threshold you'd actually need for it. I figured Gen 5 would be good with this card, but I didn't think it'd be like required. But if you need like 16k or 20k to like feel comfortable with actually hitting the power requirements, not to mention they also whiffing out events and climaxes.
So ultimately, I don't know 100% because Ruby's like one of the first ones that has this like 4K times memory thing. The problem with Oshino Ko is that its main deck speed option is like choice locked
Yeah,
because it's all the experience stuff that's in yellow.
yeah.
So I don't actually know how good Ruby actually is. Um, but like frickin' Oshino Ko had some pretty good memory stuff. Like they got the first memory JC they printed in a very long time.
Yeah.
Uh, and then they had this thing that changed into a 2/1 once you hit level 2, and it gave all your things a bunch of power. But the problem is like the bonus ability was for the Kana finisher and not the Ruby. And it's like, well, why am I not just playing the Kana finisher? Because the Kana finisher is awesome. A peek
Eh,
behind the curtain here for the people watching. I was told that he printed a Oshino Ko card as the crony, and I was like, oh yo, did he actually print Kana? Because Gadget was like, I have some words to say about this crony. I don't know how to feel about it. And I'm like, oh my god, he actually printed Kana. Did he print the support around Kana? That'd be insane. And then I turned out it was Ruby, and I was like, I wasn't expecting this at all. And I don't,
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this a crony card? It's a Gen 5 gimmick.
which is even funnier because I looked at the Kana and I don't get your hype, so explain it to me off screen some other time. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Potential for uncancelable damage is fine, but if I was gonna mill 2, why wouldn't I just play Gura?
because she's limited to
Gura's
2.
probably gonna stick that 2 damage somehow anyway. I'm gonna give this a B plus, maybe. Yeah, B plus sounds good.
I mean, the
I
combo's
think
still
I do.
good.
I think I do want this. I just don't want it on Crony. I think I'm with Blank here. I want Botan or Lammy to get this.
Yeah, I'm convinced to put it on Botan. I already did another thing for Lammy.
Yo, how busted would it be if this was a double combo with the Lammy or Botan combo that already exists?
It would mean that you can play.
Probably not actually that much.
It wouldn't. It would mean you can play waifu, which is the whole point of when I get around to making stuff for them.
Yeah, I guess.
Just
But like
playing
Botan
empty
and Lammy
pants will
have
be fine.
perfectly serviceable level 1 combos, so being able to play like
Yes.
a perfectly reasonable finisher, I think might be too strong. But I mean, I don't know. Hololive is crazy shit anyway.
They already did it with MMA, yeah. And it's not like it's apparently Love Live also just did like that, but somehow worse, like
Yeah.
more annoying. So clearly Bushi
Lume at
doesn't
The
least
care
fucking
as
makes
eye
much.
is crazy.
Yeah. Movement at least makes you sack the climax, though, so you're only gonna get one lane of it.
Yeah.
With this, you get
Yeah,
three.
but that's because it's Toka though. I think that's because of what the combo is, not because
Oh
it's a
yeah.
double combo.
Yeah, that's not
Because
the
like they gave
balancing factor
Noelle a
on it.
double combo too.
Yeah, that's not the
Mhm.
balancing factor on it. It's just like, they reprinted the token, they put it in Hololive, and they're like, yeah, we'll just, that's just a cost replacement, so it's less stock to charge, because that's what sacking a climax does for you. Either way, yeah, I wouldn't make it a double combo just because that's not how I would want to design this. I already have the Lammy figured out. I do need to sit down and find art for a Botan if I'm gonna keep working on that set, which honestly at this point I think I've also done enough like straight Hololive stuff too. Like there's other cards that theoretically we could have talked about, but this set's review is also long enough and they're technically a different set. And that set's unfinished and I don't think I'm gonna finish it. I think I am done printing Hololive stuff. I have other Hololive things to do with my life. Like write a fanfic I'm gonna make Weiss cards for. So, with all that said, closing thoughts on this pile.
Yeah, way overtuned.
Yeah.
Like most of the shit's too good.
Yeah.
Especially as like even standalone, it would probably be too good. But considering all the bullshit Hololive has, it's definitely way too good.
Yeah, this feels like a pile of ideas I can cherry pick stuff from in the future for other projects, but there's no like it definitely does not get to all stay in Hololive. This is like a kind of like those other VTuber sets are now, kind of just like an effect scrapyard. Like I can come back here and if I want to build around one of these somehow, which I mean, there's enough stuff in here that might be stuff to build around later. Like imagine another set where like the Zeta is a thing, just like some other infiltrator type character. Like that'd be cool. And there's a couple other places like that sort of stuff. But I think
Please
I'm
don't print
I'm
the
gonna
Zeta
make a
level
prediction.
3. I'm begging all people that don't print a Zeta level 3.
yeah,
I'm gonna make a prediction here. Next time they print another full-size Hololive set, because you know they will, I think probably 30% of these cards or something similar are gonna end up in the set. I legitimately think it's gonna be that high.
you think there's some level of Nostradamus in these cards?
I think so. Yeah, that's what's frustrating. There's enough cards in here that are so broken that they would never see play. Like Hololive doesn't have a true summoning combo yet. They could print the Kiara and make it like the Rimuru combo. It can't do what it does as written, but they could print something similar, like Mashiro. They probably wouldn't print the Iris, but they could print a more fair version of it that doesn't really play. The Hajime combo, I want them to print that for sure. Fauna needs more support. Both of the Fauna cards that are in here are just kind of like, I'm sorry, they're innocuous cards, but they are cards that Fauna could have. The Bay counter seems completely reasonable. I could totally see them printing a Roll 2 Brainstorm without testing it fully and without realizing how good that would be. I could totally see them printing a card like the Zeta that's a twin drive and maybe it has a soul trigger, maybe it doesn't. Full Moko shit probably wouldn't be as broken as you made it here, but like they could definitely do something like that.
They absolutely need to do something
Um,
like that for
I was about to
Full
say,
Just yeah.
and some of these blue finishers are just like reasonable cards. So like, Yeah. I mean, again, there's some egregious stuff in here, but there's also some stuff that's pretty. Like, if they print the stupid Cali admin card, the community will maul till the
Mauled
end of
so
time. But
hard.
like, this card does read like a real card, which is frustrating. Gura does not need this card, but like, they totally could print it. Oh, and like, I know Blank hates this other Mori, the Rest in Peace Mori, where that she's brushing her teeth. But like I said in the other video, this card is literally a card in Mirrorverse already. Like, they could 100% just throw this out there because they felt like it, you know?
Yeah.
And again, we don't want to see it, but they totally could. It's already a card that exists, so I don't know. I don't really have any other thoughts. I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. It was a really big pleasure doing this. I'm glad we got to scrutinize this, and me and Blank had a chance to kind of go off on some
Call
of
you a
these designs.
psychopath.
Unleash your full power.
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we got to the end.
I'm not gonna ask what you would play from this because I think that it's a pile and a Hololive exists. We talked already about some stuff it supports.
I mean, my favorite card are the rest two Brainstorm, the Rene card, the Rene combo, and I think the Hajime. That's a card I want to sleeve. I want to try the Hajime.
As much as I think it's broken, I want to play Zeta.
Oh, I know, right? Like just to see it.
Mostly because Zeta's a cutie. Dear God,
Yeah.
Zeta's cute as
Iroha is
fuck
broken.
too.
I want to play Iroha. Iris is broken. I want to play Iris. Zeta is broken. I want to play Zeta.
So here,
No.
I want to play Iris, but I don't want to play the Bay that early plays it because I think Iris at level 3 might actually be fair. Like I'm legitimately thinking about stealing that.
No, please do. Go ahead. It's already stolen from it's
From
just
Goblin
a minor
Slayer.
tweak from Goblin Slayer. Yeah, might as well. That is
In a
how
set
this
with a
works.
lot more soul triggers. I'm saying it has a lot more soul triggers than Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I understand.
I'm not saying I'm making a set with more soul triggers. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, housekeeping stuff. Discord's in the description. I have this set mostly coded. It's like earlier version of this is playable. So in theory, I could just post that up. It has connected to it some other stuff because it has another set that we can't really review because set's never going to ever be finished. But it technically works with those. So that's a thing. It also has the another VTuber pile, technically standard legal with it, which will definitely be a trip for another time. Because I feel like that set, whereas this is a pile of support for a set that doesn't need it, that set is technically supportless, like it's playing on its own. And God almighty, is it doing some much more interesting things than some of the cards we saw here. So,
Okay.
yeah, that'll be something for later. Links to places are in descriptions. If you want to appear in this series, if you enjoy listening to some combination of the hosts we've had on the show, and you like hearing about custom cards, and you want your custom cards reviewed, find me at Discord. I'm at J3Puffin, easy to find. If you want a set coded, please just export straight from your MSE and set it in like a folder, like a Google Drive or a Mega folder or something like that. Any of that, get it to me. If you don't want it coded, I know that people have already coded their own sets in the past, which is super nice. Shoutouts again to the My Jessup Darling team for just straight up coding the set so I didn't have to. You can just send the files and I will find a group of people to look over them with. You don't have to show up on this show if you don't want to. You are not required to be on your own sets review. But I feel like the insight from the person who actually made the cards has been super useful in the past. But yeah, until the next set review, this has been the Whims of the Creator. And until next time.
Man, I love fauna.
Man,
Bye-bye.